is Obadiah, and today we are back with another episode of Music Hideout, where we hang out with musicians, artists, entertainers, and related in Wayland Jennings' old basement studio. I added that because next week's guest is related.
That's true.
And I used to say that, and then I stopped, and now I'm adding it back in.
Next week's guest is an entertainment lawyer.
Yeah.
That's cool. Very related.
Very, very related. But as always, I am gathered here with co-host Ryan Poole, who I will pass it to introduce the guest.
Tonight we have a very special guest. Tonight is very related, I would say.
Very related?
We have Shane Scheib, formerly of Shane Scheib and the Vibe Tribe.
Obviously.
And and Shane was a relief milker at a dairy farm in New Zealand. Right? Did I say that right?
That is correct.
We gotta say New Zealand.
We'll delve deep into what the hell that means.
But also is a musician and moving on. No, just kidding. No, that was the joke part of the intro. Shane's been in Nashville now for 10 years. He moved here from Knoxville, which I don't even know where you're from before that. And maybe you'll answer, maybe you won't. I like keeping you a mystery in my head. Like you just popped up in Knoxville one day and then arrived in Nashville.
Sprouted, as they do.
Yeah. And so Shane is an artist, a songwriter, a guitar player. You can find him on Spotify, and we're going to play some of his original songs tonight. And also super cool, Shane used to play for a group called United Pursuit, which if you were in like the Christian music world, is like blown up and become a really big thing. And I'm curious, we'll find out later, like, was it a big thing when you were playing with them, or was it just starting, or any of that? Don't tell us now. Leave all the intrigue, all the mystery. So you guys waited with bated breath to hear shit from Shane, but Shane, what are we drinking tonight?
We're drinking a little beer called Blue Moon.
Ever heard of it?
Might be a little famous, I don't know. But with orange slices.
Key distinction.
Yeah.
Just to prove to the audience.
A real orange. To be fair, I did not put an orange slice in mine because I don't put fruit in my beer.
What?
I understand why people do.
Well, this is like, this beer is brewed with orange.
Well, why don't we add more orange?
And it also has coriander.
It pulls out
I don't know what coriander is. There's notes in it.
Spice.
Plus, I felt like that was a good thing to add when you asked what the drink should be, because I felt like Van Halen with brown M&Ms. And Ryan Poole was the person who explained to me what the actual purpose behind that was.
With the no greens or whatever?
Yeah, can you tell us that story? You want me to tell it?
Well, so I've always just heard the story of like, oh yeah, Van Halen and Rock and Roll Excess in the 80s, and like their writer said that it had to be a bowl of only brown M&Ms in like the green room. But then Ryan Poole explained to me, which you can probably go ahead and explain.
Hey podcast listeners, it's Ryan in the future. Back in the past, I forgot to unmute me and Jury for about 2 more minutes. So rather than making you listen to crappy audio of me telling a lengthy story, here it goes. So basically, Van Halen was one of the first acts to bring very large tours into smaller markets. And they had an elaborate light setup and lots of electrical requirements. And at a certain point, that can become really dangerous, like if it's being underpowered. And there's just a lot of moving parts that goes along with all the tech that they were doing. And so they created this rider that had really intricate instructions for all of the safety requirements and how things had to be done. And that was all really, really important to be followed. And they threw in, just in a nondescript way, in the middle of it, this request for a bowl of all brown M&Ms. And it was basically their canary in a coal mine. And so if they came into a venue, the first thing they would do is check the green room and look for that bowl of brown M&Ms. Because if they saw it, then they knew that the promoter clearly was careful to read through the entire rider. And if they didn't see the brown M&Ms, then they knew that the promoter didn't look through the rider very carefully. And so they would immediately stop and do a giant check over of all of the equipment. And sure enough, often they would find problems. And so it was basically their way to determine if they were working with good people or not. And everybody took it to mean that they were just, divas, but they actually were super smart. Okay, bye.
And that's our introduction to Shane Scheib.
Also Van Halen. He'll be on next week.
Yeah.
But as always, we like to start with your basics to get to know you a little bit. How'd you get into music?
Well, it all started when I was 7. My parents forgot my birthday. I was devastated. Became a chronic bedwetter until I was 12, and would forever be afraid of toilets.
Okay.
What else can I tell you about the 2nd grade? Wait a minute, what was the question?
Yes, how'd you get into music?
Oh, music. Yeah, so
That could also start when you're 7.
actually, I started piano lessons when I was 6.
Oh, wow.
And
really an
then
overachiever.
Made a deal with my mom. I could take guitar lessons when I was like 9 if I kept doing piano, which didn't last long, but the guitar did.
Okay.
So I play guitar. Absolutely.
100% right. Like, no one who's playing piano looks at the guitar and thinks, piano is so much cooler. This is what I'm sticking with forever.
Oh, no. I mean, piano's amazing now. Like,
Except for the nerds who do.
But yeah, at the time, it's like, guitar is cool. That's what I want to do.
Guitar is cool.
So, yeah, play guitar. Started my first band in middle school, and then had a band in high school. And actually did pretty well for a small town. I'm from Washington State.
Oh, right. I did know that. I just forgot.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Small town in the middle.
Okay, so I wouldn't know it.
It's called Ellensburg, but...
No. If it's not Seattle, I don't know it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, fair enough. I've never even been there. I've never even been to Washington.
Get ready to live.
Yeah? Is it delightful?
Oh, there's trees, roads, people.
Oh my God, it sounds almost like everywhere.
Well, you put it that way.
To be fair, we grew up in Southern California where there's trees, but not nearly as many. I didn't know what trees were until I moved out here. And I was like, why is everything so green? Who's watering all this? And I realized, oh yeah, the Lord. He's doing it. It rains here like every day. Which Washington is the same way. It rains there all the time.
Yeah, so on the coast in Washington State, you've got the rainforest on like the Olympic Peninsula. You've got that really wet maritime climate in Seattle. And then you've got the Cascade Mountain Range, right, with the volcanoes, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens. When you get over the Cascades...
Oh, is that where Mount St. Helens is?
Yeah.
I've seen the movie, but...
So you get over the mountains, you get into the rain shadow, and you're in a high desert. That's where I'm from. Sagebrush and Badlands and the like. And then there's
Hold on.
belt.
Sagebrush and Badlands and the like.
Yeah.
The high desert of Washington? Yep. I had no idea there was even a desert in Washington.
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody knew.
And
This is new. New information just for us.
Yep.
Okay. So, you started your first band.
Yep.
Where'd you go from there?
So let's see. First band.
What were they called?
Native Born Alien.
Naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that fits in with your personality of what I've seen so far. You're very punny.
Oh, thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
I hope you have a high pun tolerance.
I do. You kind of sound a little bit like Ryan Reynolds. Have you heard that before?
That is the nicest thing anyone has ever said to me.
Get a little Ryan Reynolds Deadpool vibe off you a little bit. It's nice. That's refreshing. As opposed to the normal losers we have on this show. I'm just kidding. If you're a past guest, we love you. Or a future guest, we still love you. But did you record music with that band?
So that band, somebody's mom in the band found out that there was a recording studio in Cle Elum, Washington, which is a tiny little town.
Okay.
A phenomenal recording studio. This dude had built it, and so we went up and recorded a demo. And when you're 14, that's like...
You're a freaking rock star.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the coolest thing you could do.
And this is the mid-90s, and there was like... Christian music was a thing, almost.
I remember.
There was like DC Talk and Audio Adrenaline.
DC Talk's my favorite band until I started listening to non-Christian music. And I was like, what have I been doing? Nothing wrong with DC Talk. They're great. They were my favorite for years.
Yeah, they do a cruise now.
Oh, really?
The Jesus Freak cruise, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I saw it on the interweb. The Facebooks. But yeah, so that was my band. We had, put out a little demo, played some shows around.
Okay.
But
do you still have it? Is it on the internet, the demo?
I don't think that ever made it onto the internet.
Oh man. I was gonna say we should pull it up right now.
I know.
Gotta see those beginning first baby steps,
We should probably do that. Like go put it on iTunes or something.
Yeah, why not?
Or somewhere.
Anywhere. Spotify, YouTube, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? So what'd you do after that?
So then in high school...
I assume you're not still with that band, so...
No, sadly no. Yeah, so that was kind of through high school, and then I did some cover bands and things, and then in college I started Fall Away Facade.
Okay.
And that band was together for like 4 years. A rotating cast in a small town of musicians, but we did put out a couple demos, a full-length record. I was in college. Okay, here's the deal. I did running start.
Here's the real shit.
What happened was,
Now we're getting deep. Finally.
when I was in high school, I did running start. It's like dual enrollment. So I took
Okay.
all my
Yeah, yeah,
classes
yeah.
at the university. So when I graduated, I was a sophomore, almost a junior in college.
Nice.
I wanted to play music, so I went and did a jazz guitar program in Florida right after high school. But then I came back, and with a business scholarship, I finished my business degree.
Okay.
And that band, we put out a couple records, and then we got eventually interest from a producer who was connected to Tooth and Nail Records.
Okay.
He was in Salem, Oregon, of all places.
What?
So we moved the band to Portland, and 4 of the 5 members made it. And
Sorry, real quick, and this is a very interesting story, and it's much more interesting than my comment, but I just want to point out that a second ago, Jury, I'm pretty sure you said, I'll cry. I can't do it.
What?
Can't do it with a straight face.
What did I
He
say?
said, just interest from Tooth and Nail or something, you're like, I'll cry. You said that.
I did.
You
Did I say
said that.
I'm pretty
I
sure I
don't
just
know.
went,
Let-
what? Like that.
You busted an okay.
What?
You busted an okay.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Borderline. I'll cry. One step away from one step away.
One step.
Okay.
Several steps.
Okay. Okay. That's the
never
order.
heard O'Cray.
That's
Sorry, anyway. So you're in a band, and just like all the Christian youth, the like highest honor of all was to be on Tooth and Nail,
It would've
and you
been.
had interest.
It
Yeah.
would have been. Oh, no.
Yeah, okay, so the guy,
Story
his
becomes a
credentials were that
tragedy.
this producer had recorded a band called Falling Up,
Okay.
gave him a demo.
Oh, I've seen their.
He did like
album
a
art.
free demo and then connected them with his friends at Tooth and Nail. They got a deal. And then he reached out to an old manager of ours, offered us the same deal, cheap to free demo. And
Nice.
then, and the thing was, you signed something that says you'll do your first album at his studio if you do get signed. We were like, yeah, down. And then we got to Portland. Nobody would get jobs. We broke up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So that was a little rough. But I was working in a warehouse, like loading containers.
Just as good as being in a rock band.
Yeah. So that was great. The manager came out and was like, hey, you want to work in the office now? I'd sneak into the office sometimes and help him with things like Word documents and
Sure.
files and
General
things.
young person computer stuff that old
Yeah.
people didn't understand at the time.
He's like, why don't you
Yeah.
come work in the office now that your band broke up and you have no life? So I did. And I started doing the suit and tie, working up the corporate ladder, traveling
Nice. Wow.
for corporate thing, import, export, global logistics, transportation,
Definitely bringing in
distribution.
drugs. 100%. He was bringing in drugs and illegal paraphernalia, weapons and the like for the Yakuza.
So you have heard of me. You read my bio very thoroughly.
Prepare to die.
did a little digging. So how'd you move from not being in a band and deciding to just job it up for now? And were you still in college at that time? Or
No,
is
so this was after college. As soon as I
post-college?
finished college, we moved
Okay.
the band to Portland.
Gotcha.
And so I'm in Portland, Oregon, doing this.
Gotcha,
Where
and that's when-
everybody's like super artsy and they're all in their flannel. And I was like, our number one client was Nordstrom, so I was wearing suits. I was Metro. I was like, I got to be different.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
in Portland, if you're going to be different, you got to kind of be, I don't know, very
Normal.
mainstream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Metro. What
Yeah, I mean, not
what
weird.
a mid 2000s
Do you remember
thing.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was a whole thing.
Now it's just normal, right?
Just regular ass clothes.
It's just the expected standard.
I actually have fashion sense. Which I don't. I have to,
Well, so
So you were a metrosexual living in Portland.
right.
That should be the opening of your biography, by the way. I was a metrosexual living in Portland, Oregon. ... And so the story unravels.
And that's it. That's all it says.
Yeah.
So
Where do we go from there?
I know. You really left us in a weird place here, Ryan. You left us a
end.
metrosexual in Portland. Don't really have a lot of routes from there. But I guess we'll take it. So how'd you go from being a metrosexual in Portland to working in a warehouse, traveling for corporate ID things,
Yeah,
to Nashville?
So then I decided, you know what? I really did want to do music. So I got this harebrained idea that if I got, I was living on this much money. If I doubled my salary, I could work for 1 year, save half, and then take a year off and
Yeah,
do music.
all you gotta do is double your salary. No
Bam.
problem.
So I walk into the management and I'm like, hey, check out. Here's some charts. Here's what I'm thinking. And look at all this money I made you. I want double the salary. Here's my number. And they look
Very
at the
ballsy.
number. Yeah, look at the number and the dude's like, adds a 0.
No.
Yeah, so-
You're full of shit. That is, no.
Not even joking.
What?
And he's like, hey, if you want to just jump into management, you can move to Denver.
You're like, well, now I'm working here till I die.
They're like,
So
5 years in the management training program, you'll be making, $500K a year. of course you'll need to sign a 10-year contract.
Ooh.
And I'm 23 at the time. I'm going, 10 years? I could be dead by then. That's so old.
Yeah.
23? And so...
I bet you're kicking yourself for that now.
Now, this was before the market crash, so who knows?
Sure,
maybe.
sure.
They're all still doing pretty well. But
Yeah.
To be fair, they thrived all the way through it. Everyone's making millions now. It's ridiculous. But
yeah, so...
you wanted to fiddle around on a guitar instead.
Yeah, and I
making
thought,
$5 million
so I tried another avenue. Another avenue I tried was, okay, I'll be a financial planner because I
Sure.
can set my own hours. So my buddy connects me with his financial planner. The dude's like a guru. He started his own company. I meet with this guy. 20 minutes of me asking him questions. Do I need to get a certification, whatever? And the guy's like, what drives you? 2 hours of grilling me about me. And then he's like, I want to take on one junior partner over the next 10 years and like give you like my stake in this company. This is a multi-million-dollar financial firm. And I'm like, oh.
All signs point to make money
10-year
for you.
contract. 10-year contract.
Wow.
I'm like, sorry, man. I mean, money's cool. And
You
everything,
heard it
but-
here first, kids. If you're in your 20s and you're offered a 10-year contract
Just
to be a
take it.
millionaire,
Doesn't even matter what it is.
take it. Because by the time you're in your 30s, you're like, oh,
Yeah, then you can just buy your fame
I could just do
afterwards.
anything now.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So I turned that down, of course.
Your story's
Please.
already so exhausting to me.
Pass me another.
like boring.
Please pass me another beer. Pass me another beer.
Yeah. And we're just like,
gonna need
we're
it.
still in Oregon. We're not even in Nashville yet.
We're in Oregon just watching you pass up on deals of a lifetime.
These people have murdered others to get.
You know, corporate
Why do
America.
people want to give you these things, Shane?
I think I might have been, I don't know, competent at the time.
And they went straight out the window. I take it.
In what way? Like, what? How are you competent? Competent in what?
Well, I mean, later I did one of those online IQ tests, and I think I might have a genius IQ.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
If the 20 questionnaire on Facebook for IQ was accurate,
It is. It's 100% accurate. Everybody knows that.
Proven.
I'm like Gandalf in Lord of the Rings and maybe a genius.
Wow.
There we go.
That's fantastic.
I don't want to pay the $18 to do the practice test and then go like sit in a room and actually take the test
You don't
for
need to practice.
Mensa.
You're a genius.
Because then Mensa might be like, sorry. Even if I was, they'd be like, you're at the lowest level. Like, just to get in, barely.
And that would be disappointing.
So, but I don't think these people knew that. I think that maybe they just like my fashion sense.
That's probably it.
Probably.
And that was hot that time.
Did you have? You didn't have a degree or anything though, right?
Any what?
Yeah,
You didn't have a
finished
degree?
college.
Yeah, I
Oh,
finished.
what was
We
your
went over
degree?
that twice.
General
sorry.
business with an emphasis on marketing, management, and finance.
I mean, it fits
that
into these
helps.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you dropped the. But you said you started as a music program.
Okay, so so after high school, I went and did a music program in Florida. But I was already almost a junior in college.
Oh, right.
Because of the
Gotcha.
dual enrollment.
Yeah.
And so I just had a year to finish. So I'd
Gotcha.
finished the year.
Makes sense.
Got the degree, moved the band.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So we're in Portland, passing up all the money.
Yep.
How'd you get here?
So then I thought, you know what? This is too rich for my blood. I'm going to just sell everything, which I did, including my car. Portland, the public transportation is amazing. You could get anywhere. So I sold my car, all my stuff, raised money, and went and did YWAM. Do you know about YWAM, Youth with a Mission?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Discipleship Training School, YWAM DTS. 3 months training, 3 months field assignment. I went to New Zealand because they had a music...
Because they had an amazing cow milking program.
Yeah.
Well, no, they had a music program, but I did the DTS. It was 3 months in New Zealand and then 3 months in Tokyo.
Well, no, hold on. We can't just skip New Zealand like that because
I'm not
that's-
skipping though because then what happened was the directors of that ministry in New Zealand asked me to be their personal assistant. So I stayed on, went back to New Zealand, stayed and got residency.
But it was a 10-year contract.
Not a 10-year contract, but it's volunteer work, but you had to pay your room and board, which is very cheap. But the room and board, you got to pay it. So I had some support from like back home, but otherwise I needed a way to pay for things like some wonderful Swiss missionaries left me a car, which was right-hand
That's
drive.
awesome.
You drive on the other side.
Oh,
weird.
I
And
didn't know
then-
they did that there. I thought
Yeah.
that was only the UK.
Yeah,
Dude,
New
it's
Zealand.
like
and Japan.
most places.
Japan.
No, it's
No,
really
it's
not.
just
Really?
the UK, the
It's almost
Commonwealth,
nowhere.
the Commonwealth and Japan, basically.
Really?
Yeah, which
I
New
had the
Zealand.
impression it was the rest of the world by
No,
us.
everyone else thinks it's weird too.
Fucking communists, man.
Never were communists, those countries.
No
Well,
communist
well, you said Japan too?
Yeah,
They had a little communist stint, didn't they?
I don't know. I don't want to say because that might be wrong. I
Just
I don't mind being wrong.
Just a little commie in them. Just a little.
Well, they
3%.
We're not a history podcast, but they did align themselves in World War II with not us.
Correct.
But the Access powers. I feel like you would know about this stuff better than me.
They were part of the Axis. Remember they bombed Pearl Harbor. It was a whole thing. We were just there.
But like Russia, we were just at Pearl Harbor.
Oh, lucky.
Well, fair. We just kind of we didn't actually.
We saw it from afar.
Okay.
Because we had better things to do.
That was a terrible thing to say. It was on the list. We just didn't get to it.
Because we went snorkeling and hung out with the turtle named Donovan. Whoa, foreshadowing.
We're terrible people.
Foreshadowing.
Oh.
I was gonna say, never mind. It doesn't matter. I was gonna go off on a history tangent that I only half know, and it doesn't matter. Okay, so back to you in Tokyo with all those Japanese communists with
We
their
do
bad
not endorse
driving
Ryan's statements,
on the
just for the
wrong
record.
side of the road.
We like the Japanese here. They are delightful. They've given us many things. Like udon.
Many
Sushi.
wonderful things.
And all technology.
And all technology.
And Gojira.
Well, it's also Korea, to be fair.
This guitar.
Japanese?
Takamine? Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So, you're in Japan.
That
A
was awesome.
lovely Swedish couple left you a car. That was
And
back.
then they brought you back to...
Yeah, so Japan was 3 months. It was awesome. Great stories, really good time.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching English, that sort of thing.
Nice.
One of the best things that happened there was we were out. We had kind of a weekend off, and so we were in. I don't remember what part of Tokyo we were in, but it was a very busy train station. So we'd been 3 months in New Zealand, population around 4 million at the time. So we go through this
Which
one.
is 4 million.
Yeah, so then we go to this
That's
train
tiny.
station in Tokyo where 4 million people a day go through just like one train
Holy
stop.
shit.
Wow.
And so, but it was coming of age day. So I think it's 20-year-old celebration. And so like traditional clothing and like lots of,
Oh, wow.
and so we went and, we're going to get pictures with a couple of the girls were walking by and we're like, hey, can we get a picture with you? They're like, yeah. So we take the picture and then a line forms of girls getting their picture with me and my friend. He was Danish.
Okay.
But Nikolai. And so they're taking a picture with us because they thought that we were
famous musicians.
somebody.
Or famous something.
Something.
Famous American.
He looked like David Beckham. I think they probably thought he was like famous and I was his entourage or something.
Sure. So then how'd you get back from there back to New Zealand?
So then
That's when I offered you the...
While I was in New Zealand, one of my work duties was like cleaning a part of like a lot of cleaning, a lot of toilet scrubbing.
Hey, you're a volunteer.
And based on my toilet scrubbing skills, I was offered a position as a personal assistant. So I accepted and got residency and stayed in New Zealand, which was great.
That's awesome.
I got to go to like travel to Australia. I got to hitchhike around New Zealand. I went to Samoa.
I just learned where New Zealand was.
Awesome.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I thought I knew, and then I saw it on a map, and I was like, this is where the fuck New Zealand is?
Yeah.
Because we were in Hawaii, and New Zealand's like right there. It's like almost as close as California.
Yeah, you're like halfway. Like,
You're like halfway. I was like, holy shit. That's in my mind, it's like way on the other side of the world.
I mean,
Yeah, it's a whole globe. We see flat maps, you conceptualize it differently.
exactly.
But yeah, it blew my mind. And I also didn't know it was right next to Australia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Across the
Blew
ditch.
my- So there's that where you learn to milk cows.
So then, as part of needing to come up with, funds to pay, I didn't have I had a work visa, but it was like kind of volunteer work visa, so I wasn't gonna be able to get like a full-time job or something. But I could teach guitar lessons on the side. I started a guitar club for after-school program.
That's cool.
Because chess club, nerdy, guitar club,
Awesome.
And then that was free. But then I taught guitar lessons, and then I worked as a relief milker occasionally.
Okay. Now, that means one of two things to me. One, you are relieving another milker whose hands are tired. Or two, you are relieving the cow of their milk pressure.
No, it's,
So are you jacking off the cows, or are you helping someone else?
so yeah, it's when somebody didn't show up because you got to milk the cows twice a day, morning and night.
Is he relieving the cows by being the new milk source?
Wait, what?
What?
He is being milked.
Oh, sure.
Nope.
You can milk anything with nipples.
Can you milk me, Ryan? I got nipples. Can you milk me?
I set you up.
Okay, so
So
it's
that's
when somebody
where-
didn't show up. So you're like the backup milker.
Exactly.
Okay.
Occasionally go milk, and then save the money so I could go bungee jumping. It was invented in New Zealand. I thought I'd try it
It
there.
was invented in New Zealand?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They only have the second highest bungee jump at the time. I don't know now. The highest was in South
I don't know how to
Africa.
process that because it's not like something I didn't know.
Right.
It's just a weird fact.
Yeah, see, so for my 18th birthday, I went skydiving in Washington.
cool.
That's
but
fun.
I'd done that. I'd been tandem and then solo, but I'd never been bungee jumping, and I'm in New Zealand, and it was invented here. I mean, I have to go. So I did that.
That's awesome. So second highest, did you do the big one?
I didn't do that one.
Okay.
It was on the South Island. I was on the North Island.
Gotcha. There's more than one island?
Yeah.
I know nothing about New Zealand. Not a damn thing. Except for I know they don't like to be confused with Australians.
No, they're like Australia's Canada.
Gotcha. I see
Slightly
now.
different accent, slightly more liberal, probably better. No, I think Australia and New Zealand are both amazing.
Sure.
So
Okay. So you're milking cows. How'd you get to Nashville? Or where'd you go next?
okay, so then from there,
Right now, Shane Scheib, I just want to point out you are currently the Forst Gump of music.
So at this point, I got a Facebook message. Facebook was very new, 2007 or 8. I got a Facebook message from a guy from high school saying he was studying engineering at UT, living with a band. They were young, reminded him of us when we were like in high school, college, and their guitar player had just left for California. But they're really good, and he was living in their house, and they'd just been given a recording studio. You should come meet them. I'm like, oh, I'm in New Zealand. He's like, if you ever come back to America, I got freaking flyer miles. I'll fly you out to meet these guys in Knoxville. I'm like, all right.
Awesome.
So I put in my notice, did a few more months, finished out, and then thought, okay, so I moved back to this, all my stuff back to the States, was hanging out with my brother in Los Angeles.
Now, before we get there, let's have you play a song.
Oh, so
Oh, yeah. We always say we're going to play the song in the first 10 minutes, and then it never works.
oh.
But I feel like that's a good cliffhanger.
Can you check the camera really quick? Because he bumped it when we were setting up, and I forgot to move it back. Actually, it's not bad. It's actually fine. You might have moved it to a better spot.
Is my camera good?
Yeah,
Is
it's
this a good
good.
angle?
It's
Am I ready
delightful.
for a close-up?
That's the one. But what are you going to play for us?
So I thought I'd play Just Friends.
Okay. Which is your second most listened to song on Spotify.
Whoa.
Wow. I did
I'm
my research.
impressed by your knowledge.
I mean, I just listened to it on the way over here. That's what happened.
Awesome.
Both versions, though.
Wow.
I know. God damn, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
So this is Just Friends, which normally, or at least on the recording, the other part was sung by not you,
You're right.
a female type, I take it.
Yes.
Or a young boy.
Her name is artist. You should have her on your show.
Absolutely. We'll have to get that information from you later.
Yeah.
But, okay. But you're doing all the parts yourself because she's not here, right?
Right. I thought maybe like Ryan could jump in with the girl part.
Sure.
Just friends are better than unjust friends.
Yes, you can. All right. That was beautiful.
Play the
All right,
song now.
go for
We're
it.
good? Okay, cool. I don't know. Is there like an action? I don't know.
Action.
There's so many songs I would like to sing to you, and so much lingers in the air between us two. I gotta wait and not start to display my heart to you. You said your eyes are green, but I think they're blue. You said you might like me, I think you love me too. Well, I'm just waiting for you to catch a clue. Just friends are better than unjust friends, as my heart mends and pretends that it isn't true. I'm content to be just friends with you. So I suppose his mistress is what you prefer to be, and for that purpose I have composed this melody, in the hopes that if he bolts, he might settle for me. In the hopes that if he bolts, he might settle for me. Just friends are better than unjust friends, as my heart mends and pretends that it isn't true. I'm content to be just friends with you. So much time has passed since we last discussed, At least a day since we defined the state of us. Please remind me one more time why I am just. Please remind me one more time why I am just. Just friends are better than unjust friends. As my heart mends and pretends that it isn't true, I'm content to be just friends with you. As my heart mends and pretends that it isn't true, I'm content to be just friends with you.
And we're back. Except for the camera part, because I haven't switched that yet. And we're back. I had to say before Ryan got in there, I was trying to steal my lines. Son of a bitch. So that was Just Friends, and you guys can hear that on Spotify. Is it up on all the things?
Everywhere.
Google Play?
Everywhere fine music can be downloaded or streamed.
I don't know the other places. iTunes?
Oh, Tidal, iTunes,
Tidal.
Deezer.
I don't even know what that is. I'm so behind.
Get Ready to Live. It's like super. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just,
Fair
it's
enough.
everywhere.
But
Nobody uses Deezer, am I right?
I've never used it, but it's on there.
I've never seen it. Ever.
Anyone who does,
I've never even seen a Deezer.
I've gotten royalties from it.
Really? That's cool.
Tens of cents.
Yeah. But if either of the mods are here, Liz or Floppy, feel free to post the links in the chat when you get a chance. Because we have your Instagram, your Twitter, and your Facebook. Is there anything else, any other sites you want us to promote?
I mean, I don't know what.
Anything you want, really. I mean, of your sites, preferably.
You could do.
I mean, you can promote whatever you want, I guess, but we're looking for your stuff.
Like ShaneScheibMusic.com.
Okay.
That's where you can put in your email address, and you'll get not one but 2 free downloads.
All right.
Nice.
So I'll post that in the chat because I did not
And
send
I guess
that
for
one.
the audio only listeners, how do you spell Scheib? And I guess for the video listeners too, because
confusing ass spelling.
we don't have his name floating around us. If you just listen to audio,
We'll add that in post.
yeah, just Scheib floating around. For the anybody who doesn't know how to spell, listeners, Scheib.
SCHEIB.
Nice. Okay, I just figured out why what I said made sense. Because if you're watching this on video, you see the title.
You usually want to figure out
On Music
what
Row.
you say makes sense before you say it.
No, I did. I didn't
and
know
then
why.
decide if you want to say that thing.
No, I'm an intuitive person. So I know things without knowing why I know them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yep. It's true.
So where we last left, you were being offered to be flown out back to the States. Or you did fly out back to LA. I think you said you just said you were about to fly out
Yeah.
to meet up with this band, the guitar player.
Yeah. So I'm hanging out. Yep. That's right.
So what happened? How was it? Were they good? Did they suck?
Yeah, my buddy, he flies me out to Knoxville. I meet these guys. One of them, Will Reagan, he's one of the main guys. He was in Wales at the time, I think. But
Who's in what?
Wales?
Wales, it's a country.
Oh. Oh, gotcha. The country Wales. I thought we were talking bands.
It's in the belly
like
of
I've
a whale.
never heard of.
Yeah,
Wales.
he was away. But I met the other guys. Great dudes, really fun. We ended up jumping in a car and driving down to Florida. And then spent a week. It was cool. They did have a really nice studio. And it was like, hey, if you live in this house, you know, you can like, it was on Banks Avenue in Knoxville, the Banks house.
Naturally.
They had a studio there. You can use the studio, you know, pay rent, hang out. And I'm like, okay, this is cool, but I don't have any money. Right, so I went home. I did travel around, saw some. I've been out of the country for a few years, so I people that had supported me, churches and things like that, did a couple little Northwest tours of.
Yeah, you go see them, say what's up,
Say
say thank
hey.
you. Yeah, the whole deal.
And then I went to Alaska to work on a salmon boat.
Naturally,
'Cause I
as
needed
you
some
do.
money.
I mean, that's the next natural step.
Right.
Weirdly, I have a friend who did that. Raphael.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have friends someday, too. Talk about it all the time, see how it makes you feel. You laugh, but it could happen. It could totally happen.
So, okay, let me ask you, because all I know about fishing in Alaska is the show The Deadliest Catch, which, by the way, is a great show. Every you don't have to know what the fuck's going on. You just turn that shit on, and you're just immediately like, "Oh my god, they're all gonna die! Oh my god!" So was it like that? Because that's crab. It's the
They're
same. I
crab
don't know
fishing.
if it's
So those boats in the wintertime, really like the weather's crazy, and they're crab fishing, and it's crazy. And then in the summer, when the weather's chill, they do like salmon tendering.
oh, so you got like the The chiller.
Yeah. So
Not
it's-
as life-threatening.
Exactly.
Which is probably preferable.
Tendering. Now, is that like petting salmon?
Yeah, you tenderize. No, so the salmon boats are limited to their size, the length. The maximum is like, and so they're a little smaller. And so the salmon boats go out and they're catching fish, but they fill up pretty quick. So and everyone does it. The crab
Why?
boats have tenders too. A tender is a much bigger boat that goes out and drops anchor, and everybody can deliver all their catch to them, and then they take it up the river to the cannery.
Huh. Okay.
So the tenders go back and forth between the fishing in the ocean and then back to the cannery.
Oh, okay.
And so you're just going back and forth.
Are these wild or are they a farmed salmon?
Oh, wild.
They're just completely wild.
Alaska salmon, all wild.
Huh.
Pacific, yeah.
I don't know.
100%.
That's the extent of my fishing knowledge. So
Yep.
I can't ask any more questions
It's a
about
genuine
it.
article. So I'm on a tender, and so that's what the crab boats in the summer will be a tender for the. So the tenders for crab boats are huge, but then the crab boats are tenders for the salmon run. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
So
get
I
it.
was on a tender.
Okay.
I should say I have fished salmon in Alaska also. I just
Really?
remembered. Just not professionally. Like I went as a kid, I went with my grandpa and my dad for like a fun.
Was it a charter boat thing or what?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
Like a fun adventure. We're gonna go fishing for. We're mostly fishing for halibut, but we did some salmon too. But yeah, I didn't do it like professionally, which is like a whole different level. Hearing the stories of my friend, like he almost like lost a finger from some sort of anchor incident.
Yeah,
Like-
there's a lot of things you gotta watch out.
Yeah. Have you ever
for.
even watched The Deadliest Catch?
I have not. No,
It's gnar.
I've just heard firsthand
Every
stories
episode
from my
someone gets
friend. I have a friend.
He's also my friend. I also know Raphael.
Did he tell you the stories?
You know what? Fuck you. All right.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a while.
How good of friends are you?
Okay.
But he was replacing a guy who quit. He had gone several summers, but he finally quit because he like fell overboard one year and almost died.
That's a good reason.
As you do.
As you do.
So it's a dangerous job. Mm-hmm. The catch is great, but the catch is deadly, as they say. One of the deadliest.
Not the deadliest. That's crab. It's king crab. Come on.
My
Get
mom
your
always
shit
said
out
I'm
of
a catch.
Oh, that's nice.
The Cornelia Marie. There's a lot of the bands like from the Time Bandit. Those boats from that show. They were out there. I was on a slightly smaller. I was on a seining vessel, a
Sure.
seiner.
Sure.
But yeah. So here's the crazy part.
Yes.
I'm flying to Alaska. I'm like, man, I keep leaving. Every time I'm like, I'm gonna go do music, and I go somewhere else and
Yeah.
do not music. And then I'm like, I'm going to Alaska. I get on the boat, and the skipper he pulls out this really nice like I don't remember if it was a Martin or a Taylor guitar. He's like, yeah, I grew up in Alaska. Had a lot of boats a couple boats in the water, but then there was like I think it was the Exxon Valdez that crashed. There was an oil spill. Money, the government or they paid out money in a settlement. He retired to Nashville and was a songwriter for like 7 years.
Okay.
So the skipper had been a songwriter. He's like, I just came back to the water.
So he
from
did
Nashville.
not do well.
He was a country music writer in Nashville, and I liked his music, but he did not like me.
Okay.
And so that was an interesting time. Very interesting time.
Was he like super serious,
I don't know. He was like
gruff Alaskan fisherman guy?
Because in case you didn't know, your vibe is not serious at all whatsoever.
right. He was not like an old salty like bearded dude. He was just like I don't know.
The sea's taken many a lives.
He was very
And you're
competitive.
And you're like, I might have friends one day.
He handed me his guitar. He's like, "Oh, you play music?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I started playing a song, and I like get done with the song. He grabs it back. He goes, "Psh, when you get to Nashville, it's not going to matter how good you are. It's who you know." And I was like,
Well, apparently you were good, and he felt ashamed of his bad playing.
Oh my
You
god.
embarrassed him.
"I'm going to Knoxville to play in a band, but okay." But he would talk on and on about when you get to Nashville, here's what you're going to do. I'm like, "I'm going to Knoxville." He's like, "Yeah, when you get to Nashville." And he did give me some really good info. So like, you got to go to the Bluebird, talk to this person. Which, I played at the Bluebird, so,
Okay.
he wasn't wrong. But he didn't like me very much.
Interesting.
Oh, that's great.
Did
I feel
he
like that's
walk-
definitely like a whole scene of your movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like, yeah.
Where you're like, oh, I gotta make
100%.
some money, so I sign up for this fishing boat. The captain hates me, and he hates that I play guitar. I'm not allowed to play guitar on the boat.
I'm just not sure if that's like the turn right before the second act, or if this is the opening scene. It'd be
I
a
could
great
see it
opening
open there.
scene.
But then you miss New Zealand cow milking, you miss Tokyo, you miss, I don't know, you did a lot of shit.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, flashbacks. Exactly.
I mean,
Black and white, milking cows.
I skipped the part where in New
Welcome
Zealand,
to old country.
One of my other jobs in New Zealand, I was a private driver,
Sure.
Really?
a chauffeur for a guy.
Did you wear like a tux?
No,
Okay.
just drove him around in like a Nissan Altima.
So you're an
Is
Uber
he like
driver.
famous or
Yeah.
rich or just?
So here's the thing. He had to be, I'd say septuagenarian, but he might have been in his 80s. He'd had a stroke, and so like one side was droopy, and he could think and talk clearly, or think and understand, but when we went to speak, the words came out backwards. Word soup. I don't know if you've talked to somebody that someone that's had a stroke.
I've heard of it. I've never
I don't
actually
remember which side of
seen
the brain that it affects, but so it's really frustrating for him because he's just like speaking normally, but the words are coming out like nonsensical.
That's wild.
And he's American, so it's accent with the Kiwis. But he had actually, so I'm on this YWAM base, and some of the girls have been like, yeah, this guy from this resort across the hot springs resort across the river, was sort of creeping on them. Well, he came over one time and was asking for someone to be his driver, and so they came to me because I had a car. Well, it turns out he had a car, he just needed someone to drive in places. So over the course of driving this guy, I learned that he was an American inventor. There were multiple inventions that he had patents for that entire corporations were based on. Like industrial things for like mining limestone or like different
stuff like
ways
we
of
would have no
processing. Yeah. This
Not
dude
like
was
the internet or Twitter or something.
He was like this super like legit businessman and inventor. And
That's
he'd
awesome.
but he'd get bored running companies and just wanted to invent things. And he had these 2 new inventions that he wanted to start companies on. And he was determined that I was going to be the manager of these companies.
What the hell?
And I'm like, but why? He's like, so here's the thing. On the YWAM base, I was the personal assistant, but I was also the receptionist. So I sat at the office and the sign said reception. And he did not like that I was a male receptionist. He thought that was...
That was inappropriate.
Yeah, he's like, you're going to be the manager. We'll get a woman to be the
He
receptionist.
thought you were appropriating female culture.
He was so woke. He was so woke.
Okay. Wow.
But anyway, so his stories were just phenomenal. And his life, anyway, the way he did things. Great conversations. But,
Not great enough to stay because you're not there.
well, so, yeah, anyway.
You didn't get on board. He wanted a 10-year
Were you,
contract.
Like, I knew he was legit.
contract, and you wanted to do music, and you're like, nah.
Yeah, this was like, he probably said something about 10 years, I'm sure.
Let me ask you this. Let's just cut to the fucking chase here. If somebody offered you a 10-year contract right now to make a shit ton of money, would you do it?
Hell yes. Absolutely.
All right, let's go back to your past. Just checking.
And see how you got to that decision.
Man, I think I'm about at that point. I'd take a 10-year
I
contract.
take a 10-year contract for like a reasonable amount of money.
No, it's got to be good for me.
It's got to be, anything in the 6 figures, I'm at this point, I'm like, all right. No, high 6 figures. Changed my mind. I realized now it's not that much money.
High 6 figures.
Like
Goes all the way up to 999,000.
at least
That's pretty good.
200. 200,000, 10-year contract I'm in. You hear that?
As long
Anybody
as-
listening, $200,000. If the job doesn't suck, I'm in.
Now you get a raise each year, right? So by the end, you're not making 200. You're making 500.
Right. Yeah, but they're giving you, 4.5% a year raise. You know what I mean? Like,
No. This isn't Belmont.
It's inflation plus.
No. Not this company. Not 10-year contract
Oh
company.
my God.
10-year contract company. By the end, they're paying you 500.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm in all the way.
Okay.
But you know who's not in?
Who? Shit. Go on.
These are all performance based too. So I mean, and your bonuses.
This all works out very neatly into a movie script setting with just like each new chapter ends
With an offered contract.
an offer and a
That you
contract.
decline.
And decline.
And move across to another country.
Yeah.
Okay.
That skipper did ask me to come work on him. He was going to go to a seiner and start doing another kind of fishing.
The one who hated you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I might have grown on him.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know.
He asked you to keep going.
There were some fun times. There
Maybe he
was
just
like
wanted to keep you away from doing music because you were better than him.
that could be. But there was like a pod of beluga whales one time that went by. Like
That's cool.
the white one. Like that was really cool. One time I was ready to just go home. I was done. But they wanted me to finish the contract. It was like one more week. And they were sending us out to Togiak. And it was going to be like 2 days just, to get there. And so, like, all right. So then we were taking shifts. Mm-hmm. And that was pretty cool. Like some crew from one of the owner's fishing boats came on. They were awesome. And so more people. Instead of just me, the deckhand, and the skipper, that's all it was.
Yeah.
Until that point. Just 3 of us, middle of the ocean. But now it was like 5 of us. It was a little more. But that was pretty cool.
A little more fun.
Yeah, like one morning, the skipper was never sleeping. He was like always worried because it wasn't his boat.
Okay.
And he was, but here's the thing. It was my turn to drive the boat. It's like middle of the morning.
Which you're just going to one place. Like,
Yeah, we're
so
just driving out
driving. It's not
somewhere.
like you're navigating streets.
Nope, you don't have to do anything.
You just sit there and
make sure it doesn't
hit
veer off
something.
the.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
you see the screen, keep the arrow pointing that way. Okay. But I did my 2-hour shift, and instead he actually fell asleep in the wheelhouse. So I didn't wake him up for his shift because I was like, I've never seen him actually sleep. So I kept going. The sun comes up, and now it's like, it was summer, so it was a lot of sun. It had only been dark for like a couple hours. But long story longer, off portside bow, a whale like surface does the tail thing.
That's
So you
cool.
see, I'm like, oh, that's so cool. There's like bald eagle.
Ah!
I was like, oh. So that was cool.
The bald eagle will be like, sign a 10-year contract.
We definitely have the title of this episode already.
10-year
100%
contract.
10-year contract.
That's funny.
God, I gotta remember. I'm gonna write that down.
Because you always forget by the end.
If only we were recording this.
I just want.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so you didn't take his deal. You didn't stay on.
He didn't like really. He was just like, oh, we could go do this. I don't know if he even kept fishing. But I was done. When I got done, I was done.
That was enough.
I had gone and visited a buddy like in Fairbanks. I visited some friends in Anchorage. And then I got on the boat. And then I got back, spent like a week in Anchorage. And then pieced out back home
To Knoxville.
to Washington.
To Washington.
And I called, so in my hometown, I'm like, there's like a studio that I helped kind of design. There's like a lot of friends that I grew up with that do music. It's a small town, but there's music going on there. But I called Knoxville and I went, hey, do you still want me to come? I'll play guitar for your band. I won't be like in your band, but I will play guitar for you guys.
Okay.
If I can use a studio. And they're like, come, it'll be great.
Man.
So
So
I
how long has
did.
it been since they first asked you to come play?
Let's see. My buddy invited me probably like 6 months from the time my buddy invited
So they
me.
just not have a guitar player that whole time?
Well, they weren't actually like doing. Well, that was okay. That's the thing. I got there and found out that they do all their own. Like Will played all the guitars on the record,
Okay.
so they weren't doing any live stuff at the moment. They were working on their first record,
Gotcha.
United Pursuit, 2009, I think. And so they were in the studio working on their first record, and I had showed up just to visit. And I'm like, oh, this. They're like showing me the recording. He's like, yeah, I'm just learning as I go, and it sounded great. But I'm like, but are you doing mono mix? Just like. Is that a thing? Are you going like Beatles or and he's like, what's mono? And so it was like, oh, it's
Kissing
like,
disease.
you can do like stereo, left, right, panning. It's like, oh.
That explains how music sounds.
But they were just so new. I mean, they was like 19. Will was 19. Nathan was like 21. But they were great. You know, they just met on Tuesday nights at their house and had worship night. And then one day they decided to start recording it. And it's phenomenal. So, yeah. So I moved there, but then also they had a guy who was doing like he's a South African dude who had was raised mostly in, well, I think in Hawaii, between South Africa and Hawaii, but he was doing mission work in Korea. He moved in to play keys, and then a buddy of theirs moved from Mozambique. That was with Iris Ministries. He came to play keys. I came to play guitar. There was a lot of people suddenly in the house.
Wow.
And a lot of doubles of many instruments. And so
Why'd they keep asking more people to come?
Well, I don't know. I think because the rent, they'd bought the house and they needed the rent covered and the studio paid for.
They're like, move here out of country. You can be in the band. Sure, we have 6 other keys players, but it'll be fine. Just pay us rent.
And then the record came out and they were like, it did really well for an independent record. This is the days of like MySpace and like this is 2009, and they did really well. And so then it was like,
Was 2009 still MySpace?
MySpace
no, this was 2008. It was 2008.
But it was fading out. At
7
that
and
time.
8.
It was like
Yeah,
the tail end of
Facebook was taking its.
I didn't
It's not
even know.
2005.
I didn't even know that Facebook existed until 2008. So
Wow.
MySpace was definitely dominant at that point.
I had a Facebook account when it was still called The Facebook, and you had to have a college email address to
Wow.
get an account.
That's impressive.
I know.
Early adopter here.
Hell yes.
Wow. Color me impressed.
You should be. Probably my shining moment, so drink it in.
Yeah. So I got there. I
I know,
didn't.
not your shining moment.
What?
No.
Never mind. Never mind.
What are you talking about?
You were an early adopter
I-
of.
Cocaine.
I thought twice. Go on.
There was gonna be some app. You were on the Facebook, but then you were also on like Deezer or something. The first one. Not a shining moment.
So, you're playing for this band.
Yeah, so I show up. I'm like, I'm gonna be this guitar player for these guys, but they weren't really doing shows, and their record was pretty much done. So I just started working at Starbucks. Why not?
As people do.
And Their record did pretty well, and I think I played one show with them in Atlanta and one show in Knoxville. That was it.
Oh, wow.
And so I was there for about a year. They did, got to be pretty good friends with, like, the people in that industry. The Uptons, the Tomlins,
Uptons?
And Jason Upton.
Oh, yeah.
But so, like, and they could get players from, like, this big worship artist is going to come use the studio, and it's not available this weekend. And so I was like, man, I can't make records. I can't use the studio. I'm not really playing. So, but I had met a friend who I worked with at Starbucks, and she actually one day she just showed up and was like, hey, I heard your music on MySpace.
Wild.
And she was like, you overshot Nashville by like 3 hours. You need to go back that way. And so I was like, huh. And so eventually, within about a year, she kind of, with her encouragement and some other friends, I moved to Nashville and was a guitar for hire for like 5 years.
Which was 5 years ago from now.
No, that was like 2009, so 10 years ago. I moved to Nashville.
Yeah, be there for 5 years and then an additional.
So 1 year in Knoxville, and then I moved here. And then 5 years here. I started doing. So my thing when I moved to Nashville was I'm a guitarist, right?
Right.
In Nashville.
Right.
Like sand on the beach. Everyone's a guitarist in Nashville. So to set myself apart, I recorded the Genrelicious EP, and I did a bunch of 5 or 6 songs in different genres, mostly instrumental guitar, as like my calling card. And then I would do the Genrelicious Showcase. So I'd get my friends' bands, the Franklin Christian rock bands, the blues, the country, the rock, everybody, and we'd all play the same night.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Play around Nashville. And I'd just do my instrumental guitar stuff.
And this is before the big boom, right? Because the big Nashville boom started in 2012?
Right.
When, like the whole world started to move here?
And then right about then, I met a guy who was playing drums for me and wanted to be a producer. And the girl broke my heart. I wrote a song about it called Just Friends, which you heard. Went over to his house to record it.
And here we are.
And then here we are.
And that man was Ryan Moore.
It was Ryan Moore.
That's funny because when you said someone I knew who played drums who wanted to be a producer, I immediately was like, Ryan?
Oh, no, it was a guy from California named Ryan.
And you were right.
Yeah.
And you were right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Moore hasn't been on this show, so our audience doesn't know him, but he will be eventually, hopefully sooner than later. But Ryan's really similar to me, just a slightly different temperament.
It's
He has
sort
the
of
same name, he has the same career, he has the same musical talent. Yeah, it's really odd.
It's why I say Ryan Poole. Like, why do you keep saying his last name?
But I can play
Because-
keys, and he can't, and he has a wife and kids, and I don't. So that's like the difference.
That's the only difference.
So
Everything
choose now, kids. What do you want? Do you want to know how to play the keyboard, or do you want to have a wife and kids? It's one or the other, apparently.
as are the laws.
I can't play keys, nor do I have a wife and children.
Wow, you just got
Damn.
screwed.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. Jury has a wife,
No kids.
no kids, and no keys.
Hey,
No
you're right,
kids
I have
and no keys.
Interesting.
So
I have
you know,
several guitars.
we've got the whole spectrum represented here.
Okay.
Oh, you're on the spectrum too? Oh.
Yeah, different spectrum.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, so before we get into your Nashville days, would you like to play another song?
Yeah, what you got? Oh, I got a song.
No, what you got? I
Okay.
think yeah.
Let's see. This is a song I wrote about a girl I dated who ended up marrying my roommate after I got a stalker. So there's a lot of like a heartbreak / stalkery kind of vibe to it.
Sure. Classic.
And go.
I never know if there's like an action or like you can play now or like play us a song or like he's halfway through the song. Should we tell him that we haven't started it yet?
No, we're literally just always ready.
That's awesome. Sorry, it's my first pod Twitchcast. So beautiful, act like you don't know. Smarter than most, but don't let it show. Only a perfect one for me. Only one who didn't believe. I saved up my whole life for you. 20 years gave it up for you. I needed some time to get home myself. You made up your mind, put us both through hell. And you run into the arms of the next one. Run into the dark with your head hung low, hoping I would chase you down, just so you could turn and go into the arms of the next one. Run into the dark with your head hung low, hoping I would chase you down, just so you could turn and go. Go ahead and hurt yourself. Try to make me feel what you felt. Apathy aches worse than hate. You decided your own fate. Nothing more I could have done. The only way you know how to go is run. Found the one that would hurt me most. Necromancing with my old ghost. And you run into the arms of the next one. Run into the dark with your head hung low, hoping I would chase you down, just so you could turn and go into the arms of the next one. Run into the dark with your head hung low, hoping I would chase you down, just so you could turn and go. Of the next one. Run into the dark with your head hung low, hoping I would chase you down, just so you could turn and go into the arms of the next one. Run into the dark with your head hung low, hoping I would chase you down, just so you could turn and go.
And we're back. So, did we ask you? I don't think we asked you beforehand what that song was called.
Run! Exclamation point.
Oh, you gotta have the exclamation point. Mm-hmm. It's right here. So we got different kinds of beers, not just Blue Moon.
Ooh.
I really need to remember that this episode is called 10-Year Contract, because if I don't, I'm going to call it
And how exactly do you spell that?
It's like OKCUURRRRRT.
Sure.
Or maybe it's OCKU. That
Sure.
makes more grammatical sense.
I've made a mistake by asking that dumb question.
Truer words were never spoken.
Sure.
So you were for a short time in United Pursuit, which, for people who don't know, has ended up becoming like one of the larger worship bands that there are. I feel like, am I right?
Yeah,
I don't like stack such status, but like I think everybody in the worship sphere knows who they are.
Yeah, Jesus Culture did a lot of their songs on one record, and yeah.
So when you were a part of it, like, was it blowing up at that time, or was it kind of like, were you an early adopter and then you got out when you heard that 10-year contract? You were like, peace out.
Yeah, so I was only there for like a year, and the first record, so they were catching on, but not. They hadn't reached that kind of next level status yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So that brought you to Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you're here, for many years now, 10 years now,
Right.
what have you been doing since you got here?
So those first 5 years, genre-licious, solo artist, guitar.
Right.
I played for Ryan Michaels' band, was a great band. I played for them a few gigs. Now Haley and Michaels, they're like a country duo. Pretty. They do well. They're great.
Wait, you play them with them now, or that's
I did.
what they are now?
That's what they became later.
Oh, okay.
As soon as I leave bands, they do really well.
Gotcha. That's payback for not taking all those 10-year contracts.
I would like
want
to
your
invite
band-
you to become a part of my studio for like 6 months.
Yeah, guitar for hire.
that
Just
you
make me a
can-
guitar for hire for your
so
studio.
that you can leave, and I will do well.
It's gonna work. So then, I was working for Starbucks, doing guitar for hire.
And what does guitar for hire look like?
Just whoever needs a guitar player in the studio, live, tour,
How do you like advertise that sort of thing?
genre-licious showcase, Scheib. I'd get on Lightning 100 and do like lightning flashes for my shows, like just really market it.
That's right. You've been featured on Lightning 100 a few times, right?
Yeah. I mean, they've played songs, 615, that kind of thing. I have a new single coming out. They should play it.
Oh. Mm-hmm. And they are listening, so.
Yes!
Hell yeah.
I knew it. I figured this was the platform.
Now, I only knew that because when we asked what your greatest achievements were, that was one of the things you listed. Granted, now that I've met you in person, I can't tell if it's sarcasm or not, but that's what you typed. You also typed coming on the show, though, so...
Yes. I'm here.
So I don't know how to weigh that amongst all the things.
I mean... Yeah, so, like, when I recorded Just Friends, I had kind of, like... Okay, so first I did Genrelicious, and I was still doing just every different kind of genre.
Sure.
I sang on a song called Blood on the Floor, and it was just real, like... Blood on the floor. It was, like, real bluesy kind of thing. But I did all these different songs, and then, like I said, I met Ryan, producer... Thought about maybe doing some more...
But not me.
Different,
Correct.
Another also gifted and talented and ridiculously good-looking Ryan, producer.
That's strong.
There are two in the world, and I know both. And so I guess what I'm saying is I went and recorded the song. I'm in the studio. Just friends are better than unjust friends. And I'm like crying because this girl broke my poor heart. So I put that song on the interwebs.
Sure.
Released it to the iTunes and the streaming sites.
Yeah.
And there was this thing called the Deli Magazine, which I think is still around.
Okay.
And they do Music Cities, they do charts. Popular in this city. And they base it on like your social medias, your website traffic on their site, your streams and stuff. And it was like a popularity contest for independent artists. And when Just Friends came out, somehow I was also learning about getting fans on a Facebook page. And likes on, like the different social medias. And whatever happened, however it just lightning struck, I was in the top 10 Nashville artists.
Hot damn.
Above Kings of Leon, but right below Jack White.
Nice.
And they would just like throw like random actual like established artists on their charts.
Sure.
But,
Give us some legitimacy.
Yeah, to see like where you would stack up if they knew what Deli Magazine was, kind of thing, I think, probably. No offense to them, but you know what I mean. And so, but I was able to use that and like put it in a thing and
You were like, I'm better than Kings of Leon.
look at this. And so I was able to book a tour. I got fired from Starbucks.
For what? What'd you do?
I did nothing wrong.
What'd you do?
I did nothing. I really was falsely accused, but they'd already fired me
What? Falsely accused of?
of stealing gift cards.
You son of a bitch.
I know. But there's cameras. And then it was like, oh, that was a mistake. That didn't happen.
Did the guy get the person who did it?
Yeah. Who also got fired, but I'd already been fired.
Oh, so it didn't matter at that point.
So they didn't just hire you back?
Well, when they do that kind of thing, what they did was, they're like, if you sign here, you can get unemployment. I was like, I don't want unemployment. And then somebody
Why
told
not?
me, I have an attorney friend that was like, but if you go to the unemployment, they're going to have to provide proof that you did this thing. Because they don't want to pay your unemployment. So Starbucks is going to have to provide proof that you were committed a fireable offense. And that's when it came out that it was like, okay, so it turns out, our bad. And so then with the unemployment, I was like, I'm going on tour. Because it coincided with immediately when the record was, or that song was
Yeah.
like on that chart. And so I toured the U.S.
Might as well take that sweet, sweet unemployment money.
I went and, yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm all about it.
I went and did a little tour.
Nice.
Played the Roxy on Sunset out in L.A.
Oh.
Yeah.
You a fancy bitch.
Well, I was really
I've driven
excited.
by.
I was really excited because, you haven't been?
No, I've never seen a show or anything.
Yeah, me neither, which is weird considering we grew up 2 hours from there.
It was one of the places when I was in a band in high school. I always it was on the list of like places you should contact to play, and we just never did. I mean, we were a few hours away, of course, and then also like they want you to have a draw of a certain amount or sell tickets, at least like when I was trying, and so I just think we didn't think we could get that many friends to drive to LA.
Yeah,
know.
fair enough.
So, but anyway.
Especially in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. But how was playing there? Was it good?
It was amazing. The sound was phenomenal. The monitors were great. The venue is legendary. And I was okay, so there's this band called The Beards. Have you ever heard The Beards?
I don't think so.
I don't know if they're together anymore, but they're an Australian band, and they're just amazing. Every song is about a beard. One of my favorite songs is...
Wait, really?
Oh, you got to check out The Beards.
My favorite song is Long.
Followed by short. I also like scraggly.
If your dad doesn't have a beard, you've got two moms. That's one of those things.
Really? Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So they were playing at the Roxy, and I was going to be one of the first opening bands, like side stage kind of thing. And we're in Portland, and I'm like bragging to this dude. We're playing at a venue in Oregon, and we're in Portland, and like this dude's got this giant beard. I'm like, have you heard the Beards? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm opening for them at the Roxy. And he's like, no, you're not. I was like, yes, I am. And he's like, no, they didn't get their visas. They're not coming. They were supposed to play here too. And I was like, oh. So I was like, bummer. But then I contacted the Roxy, or at least my manager did, and found out. They're like, yeah, that band's not playing. Do you want to play the main stage? You want to like... So I got bumped up to like main stage.
Nice.
They had like some upstairs thing, but it was like, you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. My name was on the marquee.
Woo! Name and Lights, classic.
Yeah. So that was great. High point.
Yeah, for sure.
That was fun.
I feel like every time, I haven't played in LA that many times. Like, I would say, like 3 or 4, and every time I've done it, it has felt really exciting. Like, there's something about it. And I don't know if that's just personal associations with that city, but or what it is. But every time it feels like exciting. It feels like, I don't know, like somebody else might feel about playing in Nashville.
Right? That's funny because, yeah, you're totally right.
But LA is different because LA is okay with, like, celebrity, whoa, and Nashville has to pretend it's not cool. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Much preferable.
One time, okay, because you said that, one time
Yeah.
I was working at the Starbucks in Brentwood, Maryland Farms, and I was the shift supervisor, and we had a new kid. He was a high school kid. Really tall dude. You wouldn't know he was in high school. Great kid, but it was his first week. And he's running the drive-thru, and it's his first time. He's running middle of the day, pretty slow, and he's in the drive-thru, and he's taking the thing where, over the headset, he takes the order, puts it in the computer, and then steps over and pulls it up to ring it in and takes their money. Usually you got, if it's busy, you got one person taking the orders and putting them in, one person taking the money. He was doing both, and then there's always somebody else making the drinks. I'm in the back, I'm counting the money, stealing cards, whatever. And over the headset, I hear some girls pull up and they're like, hee, blah, blah, blah. But I could tell because I was checking him because I knew it was his first time doing both, and we're pretty slow, but it was getting a little bit of people backed up. He's going a little too slow. And so these people were like, hello, and he wasn't helping them. So I just take the order. I'm like, hey, what can I get for you? I'm like, welcome to Star Wars. This is Luke. And so I'm taking... I thought this is a Starbucks. So then I take their order.
This is Star Wars. Oh my gosh, you're funny.
Have I told you this story?
No.
So I go up and I'm like, hey man, I went ahead and put this order in. It's going to be out of order, but just when you get to these two things, don't hand them out, okay? Like, I marked the cups. It's in the system, but you got to just skip this order and go to that one. He's like, okay. So I stand next to him and I'm taking orders so he doesn't get overwhelmed. So they're going by, things are working. Now, flash back an hour, I was out cleaning the cafe, and there were some kids visiting from like Texas. There's like
This
a
part's
mom.
in black and white, by the way.
Yeah, there's like a mom and like 3 14-year-old girls who are leaving to the airport, and they're a little bummed because they didn't meet any famous people in Nashville. And I have this, I go, yeah, but we're in Nashville, so even if you saw some famous people, you wouldn't really talk to them. We kind of just don't acknowledge celebrity here. You kind of just play it cool. They're like, yeah, but we wanted to see somebody. Skip forward back to the drive-thru and color, and who pulls up, but the girls, it was Taylor Swift, and she was driving her own car. And so she pulls up, and...
I just nailed Taylor Swift.
Basic.
You're
She can be
funny.
Taylor Swift, and that's amazing, whatever. Nah, yeah, she's great. But she's just a basic bitch white girl pulling up to Starbucks in the middle of the day. What'd she get? Please tell me it was Frappuccino. Some weird fucking Frappuccino.
So that the irony is, she didn't order a Frappuccino, but the people in front of her did. And the kid was like, oh my God, it's Taylor Swift. And I'm like,
no.
I'm like, I'm looking right
Be
at
cool,
her.
bitch. Be cool.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know who that is, but we got to get these orders out correctly. And she looks at me and I'm like, it's like, I know who it is, but I'm not going to be like, make a big deal. So he totally hands her out the wrong drinks. He hands her a couple Frappuccinos. She ordered like hot drinks. And then, because he turned and yelled, it's Taylor Swift so loud, the 14-year-old girls from inside run out to the drive-thru, all over her car, between the building and her car, trying to get into it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So he hands her the wrong stuff. She tries to pull away and gets out of there. And I'm like, oh, there goes my chance of ever dating her. She's going to remember I was the barista that caused all this.
100%. You're out.
She never came back to that store again.
Of course not. Why would she? You ruined it.
It was my bad.
She has that memory forever in her brain.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't write a song about you.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, oh man.
Dear Shane.
And now the title of the episode is Taylor Swift, because that has a much larger draw.
We're going to redo the intro. Shane Scheib is an artist.
Who has met Taylor Swift and fucked it up.
Was a part of United Pursuit. And fucked it up. You're supposed to be that line. Oh. Was offered millions of dollars.
And fucked it up.
It's funny because it's true.
If you don't go home and cry after this episode, I feel like we did not do our jobs properly.
Oh, man.
So, after passing up millions of dollars,
I kind of want to call it
Dropping out
though.
of
Sorry, I
bands.
kind of want to call it Shane Scheib, the Forst Gump of music.
yeah, but it's too ethereal.
It's not catchy, but it's accurate. Have you guys ever read Forst Gump, by the way?
No one has.
Seen the movie. I didn't know there was a book.
Yeah, it was based on a book.
Oh.
Sure, the book didn't come out after the movie.
Nope, came first. So I didn't actually
Like
read
Game
it.
of
I
Thrones.
listened to the audiobook on a road trip. Dude, the audiobook is like the movie, but more. Like in the they made it more realistic for the movie. In the audiobook, Forrest Gump does more things.
He already
Crazier
does so many
things.
things.
Yeah, he does even more in the book.
It's kind of depressing that I've been in Nashville for 10 years. I'm like, I need to go do cool things. Again, like I did when I was...
When you were a youngin'.
Well, now you're old.
I know.
I don't know how old you are,
Very.
but you pass up several 10-year contracts.
I know. Like,
More than 10 years
So
ago.
you're
Now
at
they'd be
least
like,
60 at this point
Yeah.
from the math.
now, if there was a 10-year contract, it would also include, like, mandatory life insurance policy. Like,
Now, you just mentioned, offhandedly, which I picked up on, as I am a professional, Game of Thrones. You watch Game of Thrones? You a fan?
When the hell did he mention that?
I'm a goddamn professional. Get used to it.
That was incredible.
To be fair, he whispered it gently to me as you were telling your Forrest Gump story.
because there was the whole book... was the book
movie.
written before...
Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because he stopped... The
Got
author
it.
fell behind.
Are you a fan? You watched the show.
I've seen them all.
Did you see the finale?
Yes.
What'd you think? Now, hold on. To be clear, there are rules. Those rules are you cannot give spoilers for a movie for 2 weeks, an episode of TV for 3 days, and a finale for 1 week. And it's been plenty of time. So feel free to fucking let loose.
I'm glad you have those rules.
Those
Oh,
are the
wow.
rules. Not my rules, they're internet rules.
Okay, so everybody, to clarify
If you haven't seen it at this point,
what he just
spoiler
said,
alert, we might bring up some shit.
if you haven't seen the last episode of Game of Thrones, you should fast forward maybe 3 to 5 minutes. All right, your
knows?
chance is over. Go ahead.
So what was the question?
What'd you think?
Oh, the
Was
finale?
it a good finale? Did you read the books?
No, I'm not. I've never read books.
Wow.
I'm not a
All
book guy.
Well, okay, that's fine.
Plus, they ran
Thought
out.
you were a genius, but you know. They ran
I thought
out?
so too. The internet
Oh,
said.
like, they diverted ways.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't finished the books.
No. I've heard they've diverted quite a bit. I mean, even from... I read the books.
So you did read the books.
I read the books much before the show came out.
Wow, dude, you are like
I know.
early,
on it.
like the Facebook, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I read them a long time ago, and then when the show came out, I reread them, and I listened to an audiobook, so one of them I only have ever listened to an audiobook. But a lot of people are very dissatisfied with the ending.
I think, okay, on a scale from 1 to 7, 3
Sure.
being the highest,
Naturally.
it's like a 12.
Okay. I have zero idea how to interpret that.
No, I have, okay, my thing
I
is.
think the funniest part about talking to Shane is that everything you say sounds like a prepared comment. And so it feels like you must have prepared for every situation.
That's how he spends his off time.
Yeah.
I foresaw this.
And so that's those genius thought. But he doesn't have that much foresight,
No,
as we know through those 10-year contracts he didn't take.
I just say the same things over and over. That's a secret.
Fair
But no,
enough.
I feel like George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, 2
the,
R's,
the
probably.
producer of the Beatles.
That's right.
He he's like a horror writer, right? In every season, like tons of people die.
Sure.
So why would you expect to be happy with, like, I'm gonna just feel really good at the end of this series.
What's the difference between happy and satisfied?
I guess I feel like people were disappointed, but I'm like, are you disappointed that not enough people died, or are you disappointed that certain characters? I don't know. I didn't have expectations. I think I expected to be like, yeah, everyone I like is gonna die, and everyone that's evil is gonna live, and
Which didn't happen. I mean, I don't know who you liked, to be fair.
yeah,
But I mean, all the traditional characters that people liked survived. Well, I mean, except for
a lot of Starks. A lot of the Starks lived. Is there a spinoff? Are there spinoffs?
They actually did say they're going to do a spinoff.
Do you think they lived because they're spinoffs, or do you think they're spinoffs
Well,
because they
here's
knew
the
they're going
thing.
to live?
The show obviously ended with an Arya spinoff, right?
Right.
And I was like, that show, if they do a spinoff, that's going to be awesome. They've specifically said that's not going to be the spinoff. I don't know
Really?
what the spinoff. Yeah, I know. What the fuck?
See-
HBO, get your shit together.
I would have been happy with Arya being more like taking someone's face and then like murdering people and
That'd
then
be cool.
and then dying.
Sure.
But
I'm kind of glad she didn't
doing
die.
none of those things and then living, I'm like, okay, well,
I'm glad she didn't die. I'm glad Tyrion didn't die.
yeah, that's true. I support that.
I mean, those are everyone's top two. Well, those and Daenerys, but
Like, okay, what if
fuck her.
I thought maybe like Jon is gonna be just blinded and be like all about Daenerys, so he's just gonna be like, he's gonna join her cause to go cleanse the earth of humans, like with the dragon, which was like her path. And so
Yeah.
then I thought Arya was gonna have to like kill Jon, take his face,
That
and
would've been
then go take out Daenerys.
So
would've been cool.
That's interesting. I thought
There's very
Arya
little.
was going to take Daenerys'
There's very little
face.
to support that didn't happen. As far as we know, Jon was Arya.
Whoa!
See, I thought after he killed her that Arya was going to take Daenerys' face, and so nobody knows she died.
Ooh.
That would have been smart.
That's what I thought. Didn't happen. That would have been way better, in my opinion. Because, it's me.
So Arya becomes the queen.
Wouldn't that be nuts, though? That'd be better than wheelchair boy Bran, who has no compassion or care
That
or
was
emotion.
very ableist of you, Jury.
Well,
And that was the first time I've gotten to use the word ableist in a sentence.
To be fair, they kind of had to choose him because they melted the Iron Throne and he needed somewhere to sit.
Oh my gosh. He has a built-in chair, so he was the obvious choice.
Wow.
From
I
here
feel
on
like Bran
out,
in the books was just way more interesting. Bran in the show got really lame.
Bran on the show was super lame. I would have been perfectly happy if they made Jon Snow king. That would have worked for me.
Nah, that would have been too basic for the show. You know what I mean? They're not trying to be a basic show with a happy ending.
But
Like you
here's
said.
the thing. Ultimately, stories are stories. And the story of this show has been setting up Daenerys to be the queen. And, like, the freer of all. And then has kind of twisted that over time to be like, wait a minute, I don't know if she can be. So either she needed to not be, and that's kind of the twist, or she needed to turn her act around and fulfill her arc, right? And we saw how that went. But then you have Jon is the other one where it's like, wait a minute, maybe he's been being set up to be king all along, and he actually would be better than her because he hasn't been trying. And he's great, you would think. So, in other words, I know you have your feelings about Jon, but I guess what I'm getting at
He's
is...
a little bitch. I just love feelings about Jon. He's been a little bitch the entire show.
Yeah, you have weird opinions sometimes. But the point is that the story has set up Jon to be the underdog king that you never expected. Like, the story overall gets fulfilled with him being king or her being queen or something else like, wait, we don't have kings and queens anymore because we freed all the people. The story has not been leading up to Bran being the king. It's like completely out of left field.
Yeah, 100%.
So in other words, like,
Yeah.
sure, Game of Thrones doesn't want to be quote unquote basic, like, and it doesn't. But at the same time, like, a story's a story, and you kind of ended it weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a weird way to end it. It wasn't like a fulfillment of something. It didn't feel like you got there and you're like, that's what always needed to be. It was just kind of
But
like,
to be fair,
I guess that does make
never
sense.
get that feeling with that show. You never have. You know what I mean?
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how they're going to do it, but I know I'm not going to be happy no matter how it ends. And so
No.
that's kind of how I went into it. But
Gotta be fair, that's all TV, though. No show that's outside of being a sitcom ever has an ending people are satisfied with. Because people build it up in their minds, and it can't end it and resolve everything they want to end, like Lost
yeah.
or other shows that have ended.
Yeah, Lost was like, what? Sometimes. But it depends on the kind of, like, the format, too. But yeah, you're right. Sitcom.
Sitcoms, though, they can end however they want,
They can do it.
which they end one of two ways: random scene and then over, or we're moving away to this other city to pursue the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Those are like the two options. for
Did you
sitcoms.
just say Seinfeld and Boy Meets World?
And Friends fits in the Boy Meets World category. And How I Met Your Mother, I think. I forget.
How I Met Your Mother kind
They
of
were
ends with
moving away.
actually like the reveal, and then
Stupid review.
I didn't think so. I thought that was a great ender.
It was okay.
I was perfectly happy with the ending of How I Met Your Mother.
As far as sitcoms go, not a good ending. Do you
We're
watch How I
calling
Met
this
Your Mother?
episode
Yeah.
spoilers.
That was a while. I'm over it. I'm
Yeah,
over.
your mother.
Wash
Yeah,
my
your
hands
mother.
of it.
What? Everybody thought maybe it would be Robin, but guess what? It not only is their mother not Robin, but also he needs to go be with Robin, and his kids support that. Great ending.
Yeah.
You got your cake and ate it too with that show.
But I was still a little too sad that she died, though.
Right?
He asked mom,
I
dad,
hadn't
It
and
was
he
so
had-
abrupt.
I
And they're
hadn't
like,
had
and
enough time
then
to
she
process.
died.
Yeah, I didn't get enough time to process that yet to be able to be happy for him to move on.
I see.
On the timeline, there was enough time.
Yeah, and especially at the end, at like the very, like almost the last scene, when he was like, and now I'm gonna be with Robin. What do you think, kids? And they were like, well, you've just told us a story about fucking her for 10 years, so I guess it's fine. You know? They're like, what? It's just, it makes the whole thing is just, I don't know. I didn't like it.
Well, worked for me.
Yeah, well, you're a basic bitch. So,
I was okay with it. I just would have. I needed more time to process.
that's fair. Yeah, it was really
And then you
rushed.
find out that basically the whole time you've been processing, you just didn't know it.
Right, but
But
that
I-
doesn't matter because you're still not really processing it,
Right,
like
because you didn't
sub-processing
know.
it, naturally. Same thing. The ends of shows are just rushed. They're almost always rushed. When they're not, it's great. Friends was not rushed. Boy Meets World was not rushed, you know? That's good shit.
How did Boy Meets World end? Oh yeah,
The exact same way Friends ended.
Except
Everyone dies.
here's the complaint with Boy Meets World, which I don't have this complaint.
Wow, you're gonna complain about Boy Meets World?
No. I don't have this
Holy
complaint.
shit.
I've read this complaint. This complaint makes sense.
Have you watched Boy Meets World?
I've never seen the whole series.
Okay, but you know. You know what we're talking about.
I don't remember how it ends because I don't think I've ever seen the end.
Well, it ends with they're going to go off to New York to start a life together, and Topanga's going to be a lawyer. And he goes and talks to his little brother. Now, I mean, it's just a big saying goodbye, essentially.
Right, yeah, it's a big thing.
But as part of saying goodbye, he goes and talks to his little brother and tells him, you know, you're
I
going to
have
go out there one day and you're going to meet this world and blah, 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 blah. Like, and in saying it, he basically says Boy Meets World and he's like, oh, now I get it. A little nod to the title of the show.
You mean his sister? His little sister?
No. He has a younger brother by that time.
Oh, right. God, it's so many shows.
But
Tried to watch Girl Meets World. Was not very good.
I watched one episode.
Oh, well, I watched a couple seasons. Ryan watched all of it.
I did.
Embarrassing.
I liked it. I liked it. It wasn't great. It wasn't nearly Boy Meets World quality.
No.
It had its problems, but
Yes.
it was one of those things where, like, ultimately, I think a good show like that, like, it's all about if you become attached to the characters, and then you
Which
kind of
we were.
don't
That's
care.
the thing is the people who that show should have been made for
It's true.
were attached to the characters. They were attached to Boy
Yep.
Meets World characters. Why are they focused on these new characters? The new characters, they were fine for Disney Channel. Like they were whatever. Especially what's the blonde girl's name? The Sean.
Oh yeah.
Sean.
Maya.
Maya was great. She was
Maya.
great. Maya was great. The Sean character was great. But the thing is, you got excited when real Sean came on the screen. Mr. Feeney.
Right.
You know, Eric. That's when you were like, woo!
Well, because it's made by Disney, so they're trying to make a show for their new generation.
That was a
of
mistake.
kids.
They should have made it for the prior generation, who they would have forced their children to watch
Yeah,
it.
if they had made a new Boy Meets World like with them as adults, and now we're adults, that would
It'd
have
been like Friends.
But unfortunately, that
Friends
wasn't
with
what
Boy
it
Meets
was.
World characters,
Yeah.
I'm in.
That show can still happen. It won't.
No, it
but
won't.
it could.
No, well, it's too late. They tried and
But in
failed,
either
right?
case, Girl Meets World, it had some of the same heart. It wasn't as well done, but ultimately, I think, I did become attached to the characters and I did enjoy it. I went back and rewatched. What happened? My car broke down, so I was like forced to not work for a period of time for probably like 5 days.
I mean, Uber exists, but, or not.
Yeah, but it was like a good time to take a break anyway. And so I stayed home and I watched all of Boy Meets World, the whole season. Now, I started on this break, but like it continued over a period of time. And when I finally got done with All Boy Meets World, I was like, I don't want it to end. Like, you know how it is at the end of a show.
Yeah,
I miss these characters. And so anyway, then I was like, oh, Girl Meets World just came out a few years ago. I'm going to watch that. And so anyway, it was part for me. Part of it was just like, I don't want it to die. And so I continued. And it worked out. So you're in Nashville, you're serving Taylor Swift the wrong fucking drink and scaring her away with mobs of people who wanted to meet a celebrity. Mm-hmm. The exact wrong thing to do with Taylor Swift. And she's all, one day I'm going to paint a mural in your name.
So,
That's coming.
how'd you get from Starbucks, playing around town, all the genres, to doing what you do now?
It started with just friends, did that tour, and then I came back and went in the studio and started recording more radio-friendly indie rock kind of stuff. Put out an EP, and it's called the Fast Friends EP. Did another tour, way more dates, and started working on my search engine optimization and internet marketing skills.
Oh, shit.
Trying to get myself, famous electronically.
Nice.
Some help from like local radio and that, and eventually that's kind of been what I've been doing then now, is just building the solo career. I always usually play with like a full band as often as I can. I still like to play lead guitar a lot and stuff, but yeah.
For sure. We're going to hear some more lead guitar-y type things from you in a few minutes here.
We are. We're going to play a song. I'm going to back up Shane on the keys.
Yeah.
And he's going to play some electric guitar. Just a little bit.
Yeah, which we all like. And then we're going to talk about that electric guitar because it's wild.
Yeah. Where does the name Fast Friends come from?
Have you heard the phrase?
I've heard you say it, but I forget it. Wait, say it again?
So the phrase, it's just a common phrase of people who become good friends quick.
It became Fast Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were fast friends. And so because that EP has the song Just Friends on it, and because me and the guy who produced it became fast friends when we met at Starbucks one night, it just seemed like it fit. And it's an alliteration, and I like alliteration.
Nice. Mm-hmm. You have a comment about, or a little phrase you say about fast friends, or drive fast, or safe. You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, do you say drive fast?
Drive fast.
Okay, yeah, so my grandfather always used to say drive fast. And, usually when you're doing family events or family functions, everyone's like, drive safe.
Yeah.
But my grandfather would always be like, drive fast. He's the guy that you'd expect. It was funny. And when I was a kid, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then I started saying it, and I think it was in Portland. I had a coworker. I'd be like, drive fast. He'd go, well, drive fast, take chances. He'd always add take chances. Like his response would be take chances. And then when I moved to the South, especially when I moved to Knoxville and like working in the drive-thru there, I learned that Nashville's kind of an amalgamation of people from everywhere. Mm-hmm. But in Tennessee, in the broader sense of like the South, be careful. That's something that people say. Like,
be careful?
Be careful.
Oh, okay.
That's common. It's like take care or drive fast. They're like, be
Take
careful.
luck.
And so I started saying drive fast, be careless. And so I said be careless because if to the southern ear, that's like, that's not what you expected.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you say drive fast and be careless.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Somehow Fast Friends made sense to me in that context.
Yeah.
When I saw Fast Friends, it all fit into that world for me.
Should we play a song? Should we play the song?
We can. We still have a very important question to ask Shane.
That's later.
We've got to talk
about
that's
later.
Guitar. We got to... I'm just saying in the pantheon.
Song, guitar, question.
Is it song guitar or is it guitar song?
No, you got to play the song so we see the guitar, talk about the guitar, ask the question. We have a very important question to ask you.
This is awesome. I'm excited.
All right. Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah. Grab your axe, my friend. We're going to play a song.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy to acquiesce.
Wow. That was rough.
If
that hurt me.
Dude, I thought it was pretty good considering in the circumstances.
I feel physical pain from that comment.
I just went for it. I didn't want to string you along.
Given,
so I stuck my neck out there.
Wow. Did you just miss all those guitar puns?
What? All of them?
Did you hear them? He said...
I was focused on
Sorry.
getting a beer.
He's yeah. So I was like, well, that was really fast. He's like, well, I didn't want to string you along. So I just stuck my neck out there. As he picked up his guitar. I mean, it's just amazing. If this episode weren't already called 10-Year Contract, it would be called Man of 1,000 Puns.
Now, I don't know why you're still sitting there, because you're supposed to be accompanying him on this song.
Yeah, be company.
Oh my gosh!
This is so cool.
So Ryan's going to be accompanying him on the Wurlitzer keyboard,
The whirly.
which, if you don't know what that is, it's a keyboard.
And there's the beat for us.
Yep. What's this song called?
It's called She Died.
Very, very upbeat. Very bright. Very good. Just a real happy, snappy song.
Gives away the ending right in the title.
Tonight, one of the most sarcastic people I know met one of the most punny people I know.
I might give you a hint. It is actually a pun.
Is it really?
D-Y-E-D. But maybe, I mean...
Wow. Wow.
It's not spelled that way, but if you listen to the words...
All right. We've never played this song together.
Except that one time at Gray's on Main.
Oh, yeah. Many years ago.
It's been years. Not 10 years. From the day that she left me to the day that she died, I ain't had no sorrow. I ain't even cried. From the day that she left me to the day that she died, I ain't felt no heartache. I ain't even cried. From the day that she left to the day that she died, ain't had no regrets. Oh, I've been satisfied. I do not remember just what was her name, but that doesn't matter, 'cause they're all the same. I do not remember if that girl was fine, but I guess that's required for a girl to be mine. I do not remember just how she died, but they'd start with base color, then add blonde highlights. See, I hadn't noticed that she was gone up until 1 week later when she dyed her hair blonde. I didn't notice she wasn't around up until 1 week later when she dyed her hair brown. I didn't want her to ever come back up until 1 week later when she dyed her hair black. I could not remember cruel words that she said up until 1 week later when she dyed her hair red. From the day that she left me to the day that she died, I ain't had no sorrow, I ain't even cried. From the day that she left me to the day that she died, I ain't felt no heartache, I ain't even cried. From the day that she left to the day that she died, ain't had no regrets. Oh, I've been satisfied.
And we're back.
Awkward silence. Your kids are gonna love that.
Yes.
So you did all the things in that solo. You did the behind the head.
Thank you for
Around the
noticing.
back. You did the pinch harmonics. You had some sweet picking in there. Nice.
Wow.
You even switched pickups in the middle a little bit. I like that. Heard that. That was nice.
You are definitely a guitar player, sir.
I am a shitty guitar player. The truth is, I was a decent guitar player in San Diego, which means in Nashville, I'm the worst guitar player of all time.
But did he play with his teeth?
Yes.
He did?
Well,
For a brief moment.
yeah, I saw him going for it.
I didn't go full.
Yeah, I saw him go in for it.
There was
You
like
go
a
full teeth
I didn't
tart?
see the connection, but I saw him go in for it.
It was kind of like, oh, it's a little like fish, so I kind of put it back, but
Yeah. I don't know if I'm unmuted.
Oh, you gotta get that guitar back out because we gotta talk about
Yeah,
it.
we are gonna talk about this guitar because
yes.
it's a wild looking guitar. I'm actually gonna switch back to the performance camera so we can actually see a little bit closer of what it is. So, for those of you who are not familiar with a guitar, guitars consisted of like a few things. We're not going to talk about most of them. I'm not going to explain what guitar is, but there are pickups which pick up the sound, and then there are
Which the guy
different
pick up the
knobs and
ladies.
switches. What's that?
sorry, keep going.
Oh, different knobs and switches that control the tone and the volume and what pickups you're using, etc., etc. But the difference is most guitars have a couple switches, up to 4. Yours has 6. No, up to 4 knobs. Usually only 1 switch.
Yep.
You have 2 knobs, 6 switches,
Totally.
3 pickups.
You got it.
Which a lot of guitars have 3 pickups, but these
Yeah.
are odd-looking pickups.
Yep.
Don't quite know what they are.
Z coil.
A what?
Z coil.
See, I don't even know what that means. I see
ceramic.
that they are in the shape of a Z.
That's correct.
So can you kind of take us through the top to bottom from all the way from like... No,
That
I'll say
means,
briefly.
kids, it's time for. Oh, the camera doesn't see me. It'd be more impactful. Couldn't
Sorry,
they
ready?
see?
Huh?
It's time for. What the fuck is that guitar?
Yeah, last week we had, what the fuck are all those guitar pedals? So, this week we're going into the guitar.
I just want that to be
We're
a
going for
segment.
some uppy closey time.
Did you play the peddler over it? Sorry.
Well.
The peddler.
No.
If a guy had a lot of pedals. So this is so Leo Fender invented the Stratocaster. And Stratocasters were great for surf music and they were really popular for a lot of years.
And still are.
So then what happened was thank you. Yes. So the Stratocaster in probably like okay, there's 2 different histories. But Leo Fender, I think it was in the 50s, and guitar people don't correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm probably always wrong. But he sold it to CBS. At some point, he sold it to CBS, and they started making kind of cheap.
Right, it was like the dark ages. Like, if
Right.
you, like people are like, I own an antique Strat. You're like, oh, it's the CBS
Was it
era.
pre-CBS or was it CBS? Yeah,
It's worth nothing.
because Fender. So Leo Fender sold. He didn't like invent electric guitar, but essentially like this is a really prominent one. So he sold to CBS, and he signed a non-compete. It was a 10-year non-compete where he went to
Them
work.
10-year contracts to get you every time.
Wow.
True story. Me and Leo Fender. So he went as a silent partner in a company called Music Man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And
Oh,
so
shit.
he was a silent partner in Music Man, which was eventually sold to Ernie Ball. But then after the 10 years was up, he left his silent partnership of Music Man and started Guitars by Leo with George Fullerton, the original foreman of the Fender factory. So George and Leo, G and L started. And so by this time it was the 80s. I think late 70s. It was the late 70s, early 80s, and super strats were a thing. Everybody wanted super strats by different
Right.
different manufacturers were making them.
Which you explain what a Super Strat is to the people who...
Eddie Van Halen was playing one. It's like you just did lots of things to the pickups, you could do like pull switches on your volume
Like taking a
knobs.
Strat and making it more complicated.
Yeah, you
right?
just like you soup up your Stratocaster. I always think Stratocasters are like a Ford Mustang. It's like a Fender Stratocaster. It's like and you just like soup it up and you do all kinds of things to make it louder,
Not to
screamier,
be
more
confused
anemic.
with the Mustang guitar.
Which there was a Fender Mustang. But so, thank you. But so then what happened was Leo Fender wanted to make his version of a Super Strat. So he had developed the dual tremolo fulcrum. He developed different
What
things
is a
like
dual tremolo fulcrum?
Yeah, you gotta
it's
start
like
us
this is
basic.
the dual fulcrum tremolo. That's funny. I said it backwards. This is a tremolo, and so like whammy bar. When you hit the whammy bar, you're like moving the tremolo. But in the back where the strings connect, They used to split off into 3 springs, and so this one has like the fulcrum is like some physics word for like where the pressure's applied. I don't know. It's beyond me. But he kind of like made his version of a super strat, which G&L started making, and they've got different versions like the S500 and like different models.
Right.
But as part of that pursuit, like the locking tuners and the nut and this, like everything kind of got
upgrades.
Got little upgrades, exactly.
Yeah.
And so he did his version because all the companies were coming out with their versions of a Stratocaster and a Super Strat. So long story longer, he developed the Z Coil pickups, which they're ceramic and they're meant to have that anemic kind of single coil sound. But so single coil is just a pickup that's like this, but it has 60 cycle hum. So humbuckers, you put 2 next to each other, and they're out of phase, they cancel the hum, if I'm saying that right. These are wound separately, the 3 here and the 3 here. So they're actually humbuckers, but they're, instead of being directly next to each other and being a little bit more, almost have like more rich tone, these still sound like very single coil without the 60 cycle hum.
Really?
So they wind, instead of winding the whole pickup, they wind these 3 and these 3 separately.
Yeah. Which, by the way, another great music-based podcast to listen to is called 60 Cycle Hum.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So then what that did then, so that was probably late 70s. In the 80s, then he was tinkering and realized that because these were wound separately, they could be wired separately. And so he created what was called the G&L Comanche, which is already out, but he created the Comanche 6.
Okay.
And so the Comanche 6, which this is a G&L Comanche.
Can you kind of hold it up a little bit to the camera so people can see?
So the G&L Comanche is, as you see here, it has the Z coil pickups and it's a Strat style body. He created the Comanche 6. It was kind of a flop. They only made like 1,000 of them.
Okay.
Because it came with these toggles where a toggle switch, instead of a blade switch to switch between the pickups, usually on a standard Fender you've got
Right, you have 5 positions.
bridge and the middle, and neck, and the neck. So this just goes on or off this pickup. This one on or off this pickup, and then this one on or off this pickup. Then these, it's a 3-way toggle. You can split each pickup in half, so you can turn on just this half
So you're
of this
coil
pickup.
tapping it.
Exactly.
Essentially, but it's not, I mean, it's a humbucker, but it's not really a humbucker.
It's a single
So does
coil.
it make just a regular single coil sound then when you coil tap it? Okay.
Yeah, and so you can just switch. I mean, there's just a myriad of options. Like if you have just this, like if I turn all the pickups on, but only do like these 3
You're
strings.
just tapping those.
Those 3 strings. But then I can switch. And you can, so it's just a ton of feedback that you can get from this guitar.
I have a few musical requests.
Yeah.
Number 1, can you play anything that's kind of surf rocky? You mentioned surf rock earlier.
I don't know. Let's see. Do I know anything surf rocky?
The penultimate classic surf rock song. Dude, where's your spring reverb, bro?
Yeah, I know. Like you need way more reverb.
I could go turn it on. It's over there. You'd have to turn on.
you gotta get that nice drippy reverb going on if you're gonna do anything surfy.
Is there an on button for it?
Just the volume knob. Or, yeah, just the knob. Oh, actually, you know what? The reverb unit on that amp is broken.
Oh, well, never mind that.
Not even joking.
Yeah.
It's on my to-do list to go get my reverb fixed.
These are very surf rock lines.
Very classic.
Now, what are you doing with the coils to get that sound?
So I'm just flipping between probably just like the middle pickup. And, yeah.
So essentially, you got on-off switches for all 3, and then you got coil taps for all 3.
Exactly. That's exactly
And then
right.
it's just a regular volume tone knob.
Play Eruption.
Not with this rig. I mean, we could get like. Like we could get the taps,
Sure.
but I don't have any like pedals plugged in, so I couldn't do.
You don't have a bar.
I don't have my bar. I don't have any
Yeah,
delay
yeah.
or phaser.
What's like the coolest thing you could do with that right now?
I feel like it's a question like a 15-year-old girl asks anyone she
True.
sees with the guitar.
And also a 31-year-old music producer.
All right, what's the coolest thing you can do?
No, because like you once told me a story about an unnamed band that you were at associations with. That I think Shane's like a low flyer, and you shared a story once about how there was this band you were part of, and you came to a point where you were no longer part of that band because they went with somebody else who they thought was a better guitar player, and then you showed them what you could do. I am being cryptic on purpose. And then because it's not my story to tell, but then you showed them what you could do, and they're like, oh, we didn't know you were that good.
Yeah, that did happen.
And
Are
then,
we not allowed to say what band it is? Is that what's happening?
Well, I mean, he can, but I can't.
Yeah, it's probably best not.
Yeah, so the point
I'll
is...
ask you off air.
So the point is, Shane's kind of like a low flyer, and I think like in that last song, you saw like all his solo abilities. Like you don't see like he's not gonna like bring it up, and that's kind of the Nashville way too. But anyway, so I just want to like challenge a little bit / show the great people of the world like what's a fun thing you could play.
But before you
Yeah.
do, because I don't know what's plugged into that wall, but I've realized that we have unplugged the battery and we only have 14%.
I got you.
Oh no!
Okay, thank you.
Who's in charge? Because battery. Okay.
Oh, I see what you did. Gotcha. Okay, sweet. So back to the
Show
coolest
us
thing.
what you got.
Show us all the cool shit you can do. Make it
can't
as
do
cool
any-
as possible.
I can't do anything cool. That's the thing. Is
Oh,
like
you got a sweet picking, pinch harmonic, you do it with your teeth behind the head.
yeah,
Rank
I could
that
do all
shit
that
up.
stuff if I had like a band behind me and it's like really
Sure.
fun. But here it's gonna be like
But you don't. We're just singling you out awkwardly.
it's gonna be like yeah, that's really awkward and
Hey, I
and
think
kind of
risky.
like weird. Just because I didn't. Yeah. So
You might need to
I
turn
don't
your
like to
mic down a
suck.
little bit, Jerry.
Mine?
Mine.
Okay.
Listen in the headphones.
We are linked. I don't know.
Everything is too loud. You just hold here. Close your hand when it's around them.
I don't know how to unlink our tracks. Oh, I see what you're about to do. I got it.
Here.
It's about to get wild up in this bitch. I'm turning you way downer than that.
I'm gonna play quiet.
So now you have no excuse not to show us the coolest shit you can do because you were going to have backing drums.
A bass would be nice. Some guitar.
No excuses!
What kind of beat you want?
I don't know, man. Do you know Through Fire and Flames by Dragon Force?
Something like that.
See what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I don't know. It's fun. Give me like a let's see. I don't know. Yeah.
Ooh, we need snares back.
I'm getting a lot of noise. I'm getting a lot of feedback. And I don't know if I'm... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Whoa. Feedback's cool, though, right? Rock and roll. Alright, one more jam for the road.
Let's see.
Just kidding. Being a British rock star there.
Okay.
I thought you were about to swap to acoustic. I was like, what are you doing?
The acoustic was the source. I don't know, man.
I like when he was clearly trying to end it, and you were just like, I'm just gonna keep drumming. Just gonna keep drumming.
But that's the best. Go to load this shit.
Back when I was
It's
in
like the time for the build.
back when I was in a band with Ryan, he pulled that shit. We played a song at this bar long time ago that it was a brand new song to our shitty band. Who the lead singer we'll have on the show at some point. And and we didn't, it was not fully fleshed out, and every time we tried to end it, Ryan just kept drumming. And so we ended up just kind of kept going for like another 8 minutes, kept trying to end it, and then one other person would keep playing, and so we just kept it rolling. You remember that at Descanso? We have a video of it. I have a video of it.
Wait, do you mean Descanso?
No, I mean Descanso. Descanso, because I'm a fancy bitch. We have an important question to ask.
Okay, I feel like I should do one like jazz line really quick.
Absolutely.
Just because I feel that was a little bit high school shredding.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So maybe I should try like something jazzy. I don't have the volume I need, but let's see. This might work.
Turn it up.
Oh, could you turn that amp just the main volume?
Oh my god, you're at like barely over 1.
Yes.
Turned you up to 2.
We're in the farthest left volume.
Oh, the farthest left one. I was in the master.
Okay, cool.
All right. I assume that was the music we all know and love.
Wait, what?
What I mean to say is, I don't follow what the hell you just did. Tamara's is. Wasn't in a key.
It was fun though.
It was.
We had fun. You did like a whirly and drum kit.
You kidding me right now?
It was like all over.
What happened?
Nothing happened.
Oh, I just came into. Are you kidding me right now?
We were just talking about playing music and having fun. And
So I thought about playing. I have a song called Epic Epic Epidemic, and I
yeah.
thought about playing that today, but I could not get it to work by myself. Like there's too many different movements and like
things.
you just need a band.
Too many things.
Really need a band. But you had a question.
Yeah. But before we
Can't
get
be
into
so
that,
casual about
that's
it.
a little gnarly. Yeah. You can't just jump in.
I forgot to
Do
say
you
about
have
this
another
guitar.
blue moon over there?
I forgot
No, I
to
think
say
we're Blue Moon out.
one thing I should say. 7 things about this guitar.
7. Yes.
So in the 80s, there was a flop, nobody bought them, so it went out of production. Then in 2007, G&L
A year which shall live
did
in
a
infamy.
limited release of 100, and they call it the Studio 6 because they felt like the toggles are just way too cumbersome to try to use live. So they call it, instead of the Comanche 6.
There's some wild ass guitars out there. They're saying that's too much.
Yeah, so they called it the Comanche Studio 6, and they released a limited run of 100, 50 in Honeyburst and 50 in Sunburst.
This is neither.
This is Clear Red, which is why I call her Claire Reed.
That's clever. Which I thought when you walked in at first, I thought it was just candy apple red.
Yeah, Clear Red.
But you can actually see the wood grain coming
Yep.
through really nice.
It's swamp ash.
Swamp ash.
Yep, and you can see it. So anyway, that's where this came from. They made 2, and I don't know if they were part of a test run before or part after, but it came with certification from G&L that this is one of the 102 that were made. But it was 2 that were made in Clear Red.
Wow.
So it's one of 2.
Wow.
In
Who
the
has
world.
the other one?
Who is the other one?
I saw it on the internet a long time ago, and I don't know if it's ever been bought.
Wow.
So that guitar actually probably has some value to it because G&L is well known. It's not like they're obscure.
Exactly.
People know G&L and people love weird guitars. Mm-hmm. That
So,
could be worth something,
maybe.
and,
Well,
and it might be later on too.
And it's been on this show.
Oh my
Now it's
god!
so famous.
It lost like half its value coming on the show. But so
Give
here's
it a
the deal.
classic jury. This is the second data point of this week that proves you are actually an owl. A few days ago we were watching some sort of like cute animal videos
As we do
before bed.
with my wife.
Naturally.
Yeah, it wasn't
music right now,
my
auction hype. That's right.
personal first choice, but it was what was on the TV.
My favorite comment of the night though is just when we were talking about feedback when you guys were playing. Hype says when someone feeds you and then you return the favor at a later time.
Feedback. That's great. That's great.
Give him a feedback, man.
Yeah, the acoustic guitar, I'd left the volume up a little bit, and so it was just
is that what
running
that was?
right back through because they're plugged in the same amp. That was what happened.
Hey, maybe you take
Anyways.
care of that homeless person, because one day you might need a feedback.
So why am I an owl?
Oh, so we're watching this
videos.
funny animal videos, which was just animals being cute. And there was one that we watched, and God, the music was amazing. I wish you could find it. But it was just like... And there was like a harp and a flute playing together. Like upbeat,
This is the part who's right out where we go
classical
insane.
waltz. You know, I don't know if waltz is
yeah,
accurate.
like a waltz
Maybe
sounds
not a
like
waltz,
waltz.
but like German sounding shit. Bavarian. It was like Bavarian.
Some
Remember
kind
we
of
went to the
Baroque melody. It was
Remember
like a
when
very Baroque-esque melody.
Remember we went to the Bavarian pancake place after my 30th birthday in Lake Arrowhead? We went to the pancake place, Bavarian pancake place, with
what?
Corinne, Wesley, and Erica.
What?
We had Bavarian pancakes.
Oh, at the thing,
Thank
at the
you.
place. Yeah, okay,
Thank
at
you.
the lake. Went
Yeah.
to the place. That was cool.
And you know
Right.
how like they play background music because it's like Germanish, where it's like. I
feel like you have no idea
this
what
animal
German music
video
is.
had that quality.
We can ask Hype. He lives in Germany. Was that
Yeah.
German-esque?
Anyway, so it's playing that kind of music, and the video started with an owl that was like, whoo, 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 whoo. And I look over, and Jerry's there with his wife, my sister,
dancing in her arms back and forth like this. Woo! Like, with the owl, like mirroring his every move to this weird German upbeat, like pretzel music.
Hype
Not
literally
pretzel,
says he
it's
lives
wrong.
in Bavaria.
Bavaria. Wow.
Bavaria, Germany.
Yeah,
Which
so
I
he
feel like
knows.
you're lying.
So he knows.
I feel like, is that a real place or did you make that up? Is that really where you live in Germany?
So, point one, earlier in this week, Jury was dancing with an owl via the television
do.
to his Bavarian German music. Like, you were literally like,
For the record, I
like
do not
full
dance.
on.
I just slightly
full on.
sway.
You were swaying to the beat, to this very upbeat Bavarian tune, and then just now you, whoo! Like, these are two data
get it.
points for an owl,
Look,
confirmed
I'm not
owl.
saying I'm not an owl. I will confirm nor deny. However,
Owl.
this is not about owls.
I'll say I agree with this assessment.
This is
I
for
will judge you based on the comment.
Hoot are you to judge me?
whoa. That was the next level.
You know, can't handle it.
It's got a lot more to go.
So here's the deal. A long time ago, I need a zoom camera for these.
Yeah, zoom it. You can do that.
It's too complicated. A long time ago, I thought if I was given a chance to interview somebody, what question would I ask to really bring out their inner self? To really know what's deep inside. What really makes them tick?
Yeah.
And I came up with one question.
Do you ask this of everyone?
We asked this to every single guest we've had. It's literally one of the reasons I first had the idea for the show.
Okay.
Was so that I would finally get the chance to ask this question. This question which really gets deep in the heart.
Okay.
The thing is, if you had to choose,
And you do. Are they seeing this camera?
yes, we've never done this before.
This is
right.
very new edition.
Kevin says fire the cameraman. Here's the thing. The answer to this question
Push to the other camera. I need to come back.
okay.
I'm needed.
The answer to this question cannot come from here.
Okay.
And for the podcast listeners, I am pointing to my head. It must come from here. Well, now I'm pointing to my heart. So you need to give an answer that's quick.
Oh no.
It's like you cannot think about it.
I'm not good at quick
You
answers.
cannot. It's got to be quick. You are quick. You've been in puns this whole damn show. We've had 2 hours of puns.
We're about to find out how many of his puns are rehearsed and how many are off the cuff.
This is real.
100%.
Okay. If you had to choose,
And you do.
and
Boxer
you
briefs.
do, what would you say?
Don't answer too quick.
You're right.
Hold
Yeah,
on. Last couple episodes, we've been jumping the gun because people couldn't handle it. They couldn't
You're right.
handle
We
the
had
build-up.
some people who could not
Shane
answer
can
really
handle
good.
it.
I think Shane can handle it.
Shane can handle the build-up.
I believe.
Yeah.
I've
Got
had,
that Ryan
I've
Reynolds
had 2
vibe.
beers.
You got the puns. You're ready. You're quick on the wit. You are. Facebook told you were a genius.
Yeah.
God, that's a good episode name.
You were smart enough not to take several 10-year $1 million contracts. Instead, moving to Nashville to hang out with us. Genius.
So genius. And so he'll quickly answer this question. Now, let me tell you right away, here's the common mistake with this question.
yes.
Worst thing, and it happens 50% of the time. It's
Which
the
is
worst
embarrassing for those people.
thing. Right. Is they take more than 1 second to answer the question.
Oh.
Don't be that guy.
More than a second, you look shitty. It doesn't even matter what you say at that point. A very, very quick
Because it was
answer.
from here. It was from
A very
the head.
quick answer is better than a long answer.
A quick answer from the heart is better than a thought out answer from the brain.
True. Because this is about who you are, you know?
Who
Not
you
about
really are.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure
Under all the
on
facade.
this one question.
Yeah.
I was in a band called Fall Away Facade.
That's true. If you had to pick,
And you do.
and you do,
I have a pick.
what would you say is your favorite kind of turtle?
There are kinds of turtles?
But that was the answer. I think that was the answer.
That was the answer?
No, Leonardo.
Oh, wow.
It's tough.
Oh, wow.
Because first you gave
Oh,
the
wow.
worst answer I've ever heard my entire goddamn life.
Which
You
I was
came out with a pretty good answer.
Which I was-
But there was a lot of delay.
the first. Yeah. Okay. So at first, let me give you my replay. This is like the
Liz said
slow-mo
he
replay.
already failed. Just
Wow.
straight up.
Wow. I don't
Ouch.
know, Liz. Hi, Liz.
Now
Okay. So the delay was palpable but appropriate. The
Yeah.
first words that came out of his mouth, appropriate timing. But it was, there's kinds of turtles, which is original, which I appreciate.
We've never gotten that exact
But,
frame before.
but also, like, not an answer to the question. Kind of another question. This is very political in that sense. It's a question to the question.
Oh my god.
I could have accepted that
It's
answer
a
from a
shitty answer. This guy's a bit special. Did he get a permission sign to be on the show?
Wait.
Wow.
So your problem is that I was slow with a question about turtles.
No. Oh, wow, a pun. So, okay. so the first answer.
Everyone always shows up for the question. Every week. We like start getting the question, like everybody shows up.
The first answer was like, I was kind of like,
No, it was
wow, well,
honest.
that was
It was
different.
honest. He's like, I don't know any fucking
and it
turtles.
was different, and I appreciated that.
It's true. We've never gotten that.
But the second answer, no one's ever given a second answer.
No one's ever gotten a second answer, but we have gotten one of the other Ninja Turtles before. Now, you said Leonardo?
Who? Well, mine is Donatello.
Obviously. We also got Donatello from Benjamin McAnally. McAnally? McAnally. McAnally.
So I really appreciate a Ninja Turtle answer because it is off the beaten
that's true.
path.
We don't
of
hear
what
a lot of
people
Ninja
think.
Turtle answers, which I feel like is a fairly reasonable line of reason to go down.
So that was good. It was a good answer, but your good answer was delayed. And so the thing is,
That's hard.
I think we have to have a guitar battle to the death or something.
I don't know about that, but but we okay. I'll put you at the 50%. You're like in the middle of the category for that answer. You know,
Wasn't the best we ever heard, but it wasn't the worst.
well, we've had some really bad.
I was shell shocked with all the build up, and then so
I will not acknowledge such things. We haven't actually had for several episodes, like a really profound answer. What we've learned is a lot of people have very personal turtle stories that they didn't realize they had until after we asked them the question.
of course there's turtle stories.
Well, obviously, it's turtle
I mean, if you look at my Facebook, you'll see.
Yeah.
I befriended a turtle in Samoa.
What was his name?
We felt like names were too labely, and so we both decided to just acknowledge each one another with a gesture.
But what kind of turtle was it?
Sea turtle.
Oh,
See,
wow.
that would have been a good answer.
That would have been a great
That would've
answer.
been a great answer.
What's funny is
We just swam with sea turtles.
we recently became
in
friends.
Hawaii.
We recently had a profound experience with a sea turtle named, also in the Polynesian Islands, right along there with Samoa, named Donovan. Which we foreshadowed in the beginning of this episode. Go back and listen, you'll hear. We talked about it.
We did specifically, and he said it's foreshadowing.
And
And
I
I was like, oh, the question.
When I said foreshadowing, I was really hoping, now I didn't want you to, but I was also hoping you would remember the name Donovan, and when we asked you your favorite turtle, you'd be like, Donovan.
That's way too deep.
It is.
No one would ever.
Of course it is. But
That's
Shane,
insanity.
of anybody I know, Shane would be the
true.
one weird person who did. Shane
Except
would
that
remember.
I'm a lightweight and I've had 2 beers.
That's true. That is true.
So
It's all right. We'll allow it because
my
we like
below
you.
average wit drops to like nap time.
You're below average wit. I thought you were a genius.
Yes, but I'm also very modest and self-deprecating.
Sure. As you should. The point is, everybody should go see Detective Pikachu, starring Shane Scheib. You'll
saw
recognize
it.
him by the voice.
You saw it?
I did.
Was it good?
It was awkward walking in alone, especially since the manager of the theater recognized me and asked what I was seeing. But I liked the movie.
Yeah. Are you a Pokemon fan?
I did play it on Game Boy, and then I did play Pokemon Go like way too long after it was unpopular.
I'm not gonna lie. I still play Pokemon Go every once in a while, so no shame here.
I'm level 36.
You're a higher level than me. That's embarrassing. but it's all right. We'll allow
Genius.
it. We'll allow
Maybe
it.
30.
We'll allow
I think
it.
I'm gonna be 37 now.
Damn, that's actually really high. You play like a lot of Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Like holy shit. Like I feel like I played a lot. I'm like 33. Damn.
I was once on a date with a girl, and she wanted to go to the Parthenon.
I've Pokemon Go'd around the Parthenon with my
Dude,
wife.
Centennial Park is like one of the best places to play.
It really is.
In
I walk on that
Nashville-
little lake there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled out my phone to play, and she just was like, the look of disgust on her face.
Wow.
She left.
That day was over. She left?
Yeah.
She wasn't down to play Pokemon Go?
Not only was she not down to play, she was not down to be seen with me in public if I had pulled out my phone with
What
Pokemon
a
Go.
bitch.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've taken my wife on many a Pokemon Go date.
You're a lucky man.
All of your other comments would have sounded like you were scamming on his wife.
I flipped through like 47 different
I felt like
comments.
I saw your brain skipping through comments.
That was the longest it took you to respond to anything, including the turtle question.
The whole
tonight.
night. Yeah,
The whole
you're
night.
As soon
Well,
as
you've been on it all night.
if there's a wife,
You're a
there's
lucky
just these
man.
like alert buttons in my brain that are like, someone talked about their wife.
Well, to be fair, I mean,
I suppose I will be genuine for a moment. Your wife is lucky to
Chrissy
have
says,
you.
"What a disgusting slut!" Oh my god,
Wow.
that is my wife.
That
by
is
the
his
way.
wife.
Oh.
His wife just called your date a disgusting slut. Wow.
Also, Ryan's sister.
Oh, I thought it was about me. I'm like, you read my bio too. I was gonna say, but it's your wife, his sister, right?
That's
so
correct.
I'm like, this is like double, like all these alarms, just like
Yeah.
she sounds like a lovely, wonderful person.
Nice.
That must be such a pleasurable experience playing Pokemon Go together.
It is.
Well, so it seems like we're at that time we're wrapping up, but I do want to
True that.
just check back in on Forrest Shane or Shane Gump.
Neither
do you
work
think?
because nobody else thinks that. He's
Nobody
not
else
like
thinks
Forrest
that?
Gump.
No,
Come on, he went to many countries. How many countries did Forrest Gump go to? 2.
no. He went to a lot.
In the movie?
In
No one
the
cares
book.
about the book.
In the book, he
Nobody
also
cares
went
about
to
the
Africa.
Not
He
one
was an
other person
astronaut.
besides you has ever read that book.
Sure, except the people who directed the award-winning
Did
movie.
you say he was an astronaut?
Yes, he
Okay,
was.
now we're just getting out of hand.
I wouldn't mind working
So
for
that's
SpaceX.
here's the you may not
When we
think
get
that
Elon
because
on,
you haven't
we'll,
thought enough
work for
about
me.
Woo!
you haven't thought enough about what the plot of Forrest Gump is, and I understand because you didn't read the book backdrop to like kind of get it. But the idea of Forrest Gump, kind of the interesting thing about him is he lived all these different lives and was somehow connected to all these historical moments. And so
And he
that's
was
what
slow.
related me to Shane with Forrest Gump. And I'm just mansplaining you really quick because you didn't get it, and that's fine. Is that Shane was lived in Washington and then wound up at Portland, almost being signed to Tooth and Nail, but didn't. And then
You're
he went
skipping
out,
the contracts.
and there were many contracts along the way. We all acknowledge
For
this,
hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of
but
dollars.
they were all 10 years.
But-
Performance based.
Like someone with a
I would have had to be good at
upstanding
it.
soul. He said, "No, thank you.
I'll do
No,
music."
thank you, money. I want to play music in Nashville, but first Knoxville."
Yeah, and so Portland to New Zealand, milking cows. Like, there is a person whose only life they lived was milking cows for like, that was their whole thing.
And we'll have them on
What's
the show
their
soon.
story? Milking cows. But, like, Shane got to live
good
that
at
life,
it.
and then he went and lived the Tokyo life, which we hardly even got into.
Well, it was only 3 months teaching.
There was also working for the inventor, and then there was back to Washington.
Don't forget Alaskan salmon fishing.
Alaskan salmon fishing, and then the life where he was like almost in one of the like biggest Christian bands of our moment.
Our moment.
Our moment,
Very
because it's not
meta
of our
you.
5 years
time.
ago, yeah.
But a very large, like very well known band, and like lived in their house, and then like left, and then came to Nashville, and then also runs into random celebrities like Forrest Gump ran into JFK.
Sure.
Shane ran into Taylor Swift,
and
you
messed
know?
up her Starbucks order.
Right. And it's like always funny shit like that. Like Forrest Gump was there with JFK and he's like, I got to pay. And Shane's there with Taylor Swift and he's like,
I don't
here's
know
the
what your
wrong
coffee
coffee. But really it was that other dude.
Oh.
Maybe he's Forrest Gump. The point is, Shane's lived a lot of lives. So just want to check in before we end. Last we left off, you're like doing music. Is there anything
what's
else
going
we
on
should
now?
know about Forrest
Like,
Gump?
what do we want the people to know? Where can
What's
they
Forrest
see you?
Gump been doing and what's he about
We got
to
these
do?
shows coming up.
And do
Stop
people
calling
need to
him
go see Forrest Gump?
It's getting weird, man.
Have you ever seen Big Fish?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're a big fish kind of guy.
I don't know if that's like megalomaniacal.
A little.
Sure.
But
Yeah, but no.
I've never heard the term.
No, I get it,
phrase
and
like that,
and honestly, part of it is just being open and willing to do different things. Another part of it is being the kind of person who will think of those things as stories and tell them as such. You know.
yeah, some people can't tell stories good.
Like in that movie, he has a friend that's a giant, and I did befriend the tallest man in the Southern Hemisphere when I lived in New Zealand.
What?
He
Obviously,
was a Fijian man. He was like 7'8".
that's pretty tall.
He was.
Wow.
He's a phenomenal dude. I wish I had. Yeah. Anyway.
Huh?
But anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. What was the question?
So what are you
I don't
doing?
think there was a
What have
question.
you been doing recently, and
Oh,
what
yeah.
are you doing next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where can people find you? Where can they see you? What's all the things?
So right now I have a new single that's coming out on the 31st of May. It's called Roller Coaster Night, radio version.
I was gonna say, isn't that on Spotify already?
Here's the thing. It came out and we did a really big push to AAA radio. And we got a lot of feedback that it was a great song, but too poppy because AAA is so Americana now.
What?
You know, like...
Too
you know,
poppy.
So we said, okay, we'll pitch it to pop radio and top 40. Take that, world.
Yeah.
So this is the radio version. We made it shorter, so it would be more appealing
Radio.
to that radio genre. So that's coming out. It's the same song. It's just being re-released. You should check it out. You should listen to
Yeah,
it.
you should listen to the song on Spotify. Look them out. It's Scheib.
SCH.
Scheib. I know how to spell.
Got that German
But
obviously.
Shane before that.
No, we already talked about Krinsky.
If
He
you
didn't. He
if
just let
you
it
Google
pass by.
Shane Nashville, first result.
Really?
Just Google Shane Nashville. It doesn't work on Bing. I'm not Bing famous, but
Check
I'm
it out.
Google famous.
Okay, let's
Well, not
see.
everybody can be Bing famous,
Okay.
all right?
Go to Google right
Yeah,
now.
we're checking right now. We're going to fact check you.
We're fact checking.
I hope
we're
this works.
rude.
Unless it's that Tom Shane and his diamond business, I'm gonna be pissed.
Holy computer's slow, so it takes a hot minute. It's trying its best. Oh, shit! Shane's right there.
Number one, Shane Nashville. Now,
Shane
just to make sure,
McAnally.
just to make sure this doesn't. Check out Ryan Nashville.
All right, don't be ridiculous.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Let's just make sure that
gonna be
Google's
Ryan
not
Reynolds.
biasing the shit listening to us.
Nope. We got Ryan
already a
LLC,
map.
Ryan Daniel Levy, them same people
Ernest
again.
Office.
Ryan Search Consulting.
Oh, man.
Ryman Auditorium comes up first.
There's a lot of the letters.
Ryan Hamilton.
No, Holmes.
Father Ryan High School.
Man. Okay. We get it. We get
Next
it.
page.
I'm meaningless. You have learned
Ryan Holt,
the SEO.
Ryan Gallagher, Ryan Heritage Medical, Ryan
Everyone's
Casey,
named Ryan. It's not my
Rhinestar.
fault.
I bet you wouldn't even be the first Ryan Poole.
In Nashville, probably.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're the first
my
Ryan Poole.
website number one.
First Ryan Poole, website
I'm gonna
number
drop
one.
that somewhere. Hey, check out Ryan Poole Nashville. First one.
If you Google my full name,
And the city I live in.
Hey, there's at least one more Ryan Poole here. I'm in an Instagram group with him. I'm part of an Instagram group called the Ryan Pools, and there's like 15 different Ryan Pools from around the world in this group.
there's like one other Shane Scheib that I know of, and he drummed for me when we played in Austin. He's from San
What?
Marcos, Texas.
Oh, that's awesome.
And his social security number is there's this one other Shane Scheib, and we're friends on Facebook. And he's a drummer. And we're like, if we find a third one, we're making him a bass player and we're gonna start a band.
You started this
Shines.
power trio, bro. Nice.
But anyways, guys, we gotta start wrapping it up. Thanks everyone
There's
for
a
coming to
rap?
hang out. There's a rap. Yeah,
And remember-
you're rapping.
Remember, life is like a box of chocolates.
That not related to this at all.
It's completely related because Shane Scheib is Forrest Gump. Starring Shane Scheib
But
as Forrest
you
Gump.
never actually told us where we could check you out.
Okay, so
Where you
ShaneScheib.com.
play?
Sure we did. ShaneScheib.com.
Yeah, but where are you playing anywhere?
Just
are you
search
playing anywhere coming
Shane
up?
Nashville in Google, and there you go.
I don't have any shows booked at the moment.
Okay.
No live performances.
So the best place to find you right now currently is the interwebs.
The interwebs would be the best. The YouTubes,
Shane
the Facebooks,
Nashville.
the websites.
Shane Scheib on Spotify.
ShaneScheib.com. That's my website. ShaneScheibmusic.com.
But
That's
you
free
don't have to
music
know
for
that.
you.
You just type in Shane Nashville.
Yeah,
and you
obviously.
But
get
yeah,
it.
Shane Nashville on Google. Boom.
Yeah.
And then right away.
You can
Don't
remember
use,
those things.
Who uses Bing? No one uses Bing.
Don't worry, I'm
Yeah.
copying and pasting all the links right now because I already got them ready.
Thank the Lord. And we always like to go out with a song, a Spotify song from
That's true.
the artist.
Which we should probably play.
We should play Roller Coaster Night because we didn't play it tonight.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So this is not the radio edit because that doesn't drop yet.
Right.
It's about to drop.
This is the
Exactly.
But
raw.
here's the original
I mean, keep
Yeah.
talking because
Full length.
Spotify's taking forever to load.
AAA
Yeah.
platinum.
I did the genre-licious, then I've been doing this indie rock thing, and this Roller Coaster Night is very indie pop because I co-wrote it with my producer. He's a pop guy,
Ryan Moore.
Ryan Moore. The other California drummer, Ryan, that's ridiculously
Who
good
may
looking.
be a guest on this show at some point.
But he's not single like this one.
Yeah.
Ladies. Ladies.
Wait, why did I spell
Okay.
your name wrong? I put Sean Scheib. All right, Shane.
You just type Shane Nashville and you'll get it.
Scheib. There you go. Nope. There you go.
There
you
it
go.
is. There we go. So
Spotify
thanks
doesn't
guys
love
for
me
coming
like Google
by
does.
and hanging out and checking everything out. This is Roller Coaster Night by Shane Scheib.
And next week we have an entertainment lawyer based here in Nashville who works with
Here to tell us how everything we do is wrong and
Yeah,
we're
and
fucking gonna
definitely
get
getting
sued.
He might just be coming here to serve us. Let's be real.
Maybe so.
Wouldn't that be the worst?
Yeah.
Worst guest ever.
Yo, that's next week.
That's next week.
That's exciting. He
Wait,
contacted-
No. Wait, is it? What's the date today?
I don't know.
It's 2 weeks. He's June 7th.
June 7th. Looking forward to So he contacted Jury and said, "Hey,
On Reddit. Yeah.
I listened to the show.
Yeah, I'd love to be on it. I'm a lawyer for musicians in Nashville.
If you've ever read Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald Passman, everything you need to know is attorneys control everything.
And he'll be here controlling
That's what I've heard, but
soon.
I've never met a music attorney.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I'm not like
Because they represent everyone. The
More
artist,
fans.
the manager, the label, they represent everyone. So they know everybody.
yeah.
They write all the contracts. They know who needs what, who's who.
Yeah, he really might just be here to serve us.
Wouldn't that suck?
You just write a demand
It
letter.
would suck. He like lets us interview him for a while.
We'll be like,
and then we're like, "What's your favorite turtle?" And he's like about to answer it, and then
like,
he's all,
"Oh yeah, 3
"You're
doors down
s-
is suing you."
Yeah, you're served.
Justin Biltonen did not have the permission to give those stories out.
They would be the ones to sue us.
Of anyone we've interviewed, the bass player of 3 Doors Down would be the one who sued us. Anyways, thanks for coming on the show. Everyone tune in next Friday for, I don't know who the guest is, because 2 weeks from now is the lawyer, and I was thinking it was next week.
And frankly,
And we'll
we
talk-
probably haven't scheduled next week. It really might be Ryan
We
Moore
really haven't.
to also promote your song.
Anyways, guys, thanks for coming out. This is Roller Coaster Night. Check it out on all the links we posted. We'll also post them in the description of the podcast and the YouTube, I think. Ryan does it, so I hope he does it. And we will see y'all next time.
Across the room when you caught my glance, every other guy who tried didn't stand a chance. All eyes on you, you saw me too. You slipped away before I got to you, disappeared before I made a move. Was I confused? Did I miss my cue? Before I had the time to overthink, you surprised me with a line, hand me a drink. You had me fooled, glad I kept my cool. You say you're not looking for a new romance, work your fingers on my neck and say let's dance. Adrenaline rush, new dance floor crush. You pull me in and hold me tight. The way you move tells me that I'll be yours tonight. A crazy roller coaster night. Close my eyes, throw my hands up, enjoy the ride. Now it's getting overcrowded, start to lose the beat. You say you saw a party just across the street. You grab my hand, let's blow this stand. New place is pretty poppin' and it looks so luxe. People dressed up formal, I just saw a tux. Do a double take, there's a wedding cake. Pretend we're with the bride and hit the open bar. Wonder whether maybe we have gone too far. Till you work that charm, you could do no harm. Roll your eyes and tell me not to be a bore. Got my arm and pull me to the new dance floor. Flash a wily grin,